All right, we are back with the RW Wrestling Podcast. And
Hey.
Woo, woo, woo.
tonight we
You know
reviewed TNA Bound for Glory 2018.
Before we go in, I was very surprised at how good this show was. Some of these Impact shows are, especially when you would describe them, or I'm sorry, compare them to what back in your favorite, like when 2007,
05, 06,
07,
07, yeah.
And just hearing this, I was like, okay, we'll do 2018. At least I'll be entertained probably.
Yeah, we can compare this show.
But there was a really great mixture of both wrestling and entertainment, and for once there was a recent string of TNA having a lot of filler, the right amount of filler in this show at least. So I'm happy about that. That was one of the first things I noticed.
I'll say the one thing I'm gonna say, and then we can talk about it towards the end when we get to the end. But the last show, and this is the order I'm gonna put them up in, so I'm gonna say it. The last show we watched was 05, Bound for Glory, TNA. So we can do a little bit at the end about how we feel the two shows compare.
Sounds good.
Well, and we
Going
can also
off of what you said.
We can also compare the one that we technically reviewed that will be up eventually.
I don't want to do that because I know for a fact what order these are going in.
Asshole!
Hey, so we don't bleep out assholes on this show because they didn't bleep out the assholes on this show, but they did bleep out the word balls.
You got
say
balls.
So you will.
It's because James Ellsworth's not allowed to say balls because he doesn't have any, and he's trying to claim that Drake didn't have any. We'll get there.
True. So we started the night off
Dummy.
with...
Dummy.
Yeah.
Thank you.
First off, we're in New York, everybody. We're in New York. Just so you're aware. And the ring is small as shit.
One thing. We're in New York. It's not the Hammerstein Ballroom, but it's its dirty second cousin that you... Yeah.
Yeah. There's also a lot of promos that are outside, and I kept wondering why it was outside, and you told me since it's in New York. They're showing off the whatever landscape that they're around, or the city, or whatever part of New York they're in.
What?
Never mind.
No, I didn't see shit.
But yeah, I agree with you on the rings. That's the first thing we brought up.
The ring is really small.
No, it's very small.
So first things first, we start off with Rich Swann and Willie Mack versus Ethan Page and Matt Sydal.
One more comment on the ring, though. The ring did not have any effect on any of the matches.
Not to mention the outside area was
Yeah, they were trying to compact a lot of shit into a small.
It was
space.
wide later, you could tell.
So Swann did a nice enziguri to Sydal. Mack did a nice shoulder tackle to Sydal. Swann does a Hurricane Rana to Page. Sydal and Page do a half crab and stomp combo to Swann. Sydal is thrown into Page's boot. Mack dove out onto Page and Sydal. Sydal does a vertical STF to Swann.
Very nice.
Sydal does a snap side slam to Swann. Mack clotheslines and does a sick-ass cannonball to Matt Sydal in the corner. Mack does a nice suplex and a Samoan drop and a standing moonsault to Ethan Page. Page does a slam off the top rope and a swanton to Swann. Mack does a Hurricane Rana. Mack gets a Hurricane Rana from Sydal. Mm-hmm. And he caught Swann. Sydal does a side slam to Swann. Swann does a lethal injection to Sydal. And then Swann does like a splash. It's like a... What would you fucking call it? It's more than a 360.
Well, it's okay. I think he did it.
Corkscrew, twist or something.
I can't be certain. I don't know if anyone's going to correct me on this. He wasn't on the top. He took it from Brett's rope.
Are you, really?
I'm pretty sure he jumped from Brett's rope.
That makes it more impressive.
Maybe to the third rope, but he definitely was on Brett's rope at one point.
But there was like 3 or 4 rotations. So Rich Swann and Willie Mack take the victory there.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, great way. Obviously I confused Willie Mack with Rodney Mack, so I had the wrong idea.
That was great.
I was just going to let you not have to say that. But
that's okay, I don't care.
I don't think he was going to do it, but I wasn't.
I wasn't going to correct you.
I'll follow my sword. I don't care. I was wrong. I'm glad I was wrong because I wouldn't believe Rodney Mack could do what Willie Mack did in this match. Dude, nip-ups, jumping up to the goddamn rope and doing a headstand, and then I don't know what you call it when the legs were spreading like
that. He was
that.
just clapping his legs.
It was awesome.
Great. He's basically doing the bottom half of a jumping jack upside down.
Sure, okay.
He was showing you big man got moves.
Yeah, big man has moves.
Speaking of big man has moves, that's what I was going to say, because we see a lot of these people either doing the standing shooting star press, because Hangman Page does it, or the standing moonsault, because Luchasaurus does it. But this big guy does it the best.
Yeah. I don't. There was no mistakes in this match. I don't think anybody fucked up. No one overexceeded what they can do. I thought everything was this match was good. The hot tag was great to Willie Mack. The crowd popped for that. It was really cool. And I was waiting for it because Swan is the guy with the facials and the selling, and he's going to be the guy who's vulnerable and taking the ass kicking.
There's a reason he's the champion now.
Yeah. I mean,
True.
Oh, by the way, so your theory is if you start one year at the Bound for Glory, the first match, a year or two later, you're in the main event, right? So we'll see.
Or actually, in
And
this
it proves it
case,
here.
in our case, it includes here as in if you say a few years later, it's 13 years later.
Eventually, you get there one
Austin
day.
Aries did go from the opener pre-show from my last show to the main event of this show.
And my
Which is shocking.
My favorite spot of the match, just overall, was the vertical STF. I've never seen that before, so
That was really
it
cool.
was really cool.
I wasn't not as impressed by it. I thought it looked weird.
It did look weird.
I was
but
trying
it
to figure out what it
cool.
was.
I mean, like, I really didn't know until we came back down to the mat with it. So, like, I mean, what's they'll call it a vertical STF? I mean, what else are you gonna call it?
It wasn't bad though.
Are we counting the promo afterwards as part of the match? Because if not, I'm giving this match a 7.5.
I gave it an 8. The crowd was fucking hot.
Yeah,
Oh,
they're
the
ready
crowd-
for this.
The crowd's into a lot of, and we say this with all the TNA shows we watch. The crowd, even for Impact in 2018, the crowd that goes to the show are some dedicated motherfuckers.
All right, so what's your final rating?
I'm gonna
sir?
give it 7.5.
7.5.
Yeah.
All right. I did love the fact that the fans were literally singing the Mark Morrison song "Return of the Mac."
Not,
Yeah.
not the only
Return
song that
of
gets
the Mac.
referenced this show.
Yeah.
Return of the Mac.
Yep. So based on a guy like Willie Mack and the speed of everybody else, I'm surprised that ring could contain the match. I mean, like not literally, but figuratively. Like they would start making mistakes. That was one of the first things I was looking for was, oh, these guys have the timing because like it takes less time to get across the ropes and onto the turnbuckle to turnbuckle than it does in the average WWE ring. And like, I don't know how you do it.
Well, and one thing that Legend did bring up during the watching process is if Ethan Page would lay down, he was pretty much in the whole ring.
And he's not
Yeah.
even a big person.
No, he's just not. He's not that big of a dude.
Yeah.
This is probably the small, like, I don't know if I don't pay too much attention to the ring, but obviously the ring is smaller because we all noticed it.
Yeah.
Like, it is definitely the smallest ring I've seen.
If Hama would lay in it, that's the whole. That's the whole ring.
Hama and the
Yokozuna.
friggin' the jungle match later. That was
Ham slam Sam
Slam Hammer.
Let's put the
Hammer come
Yokozuna.
Slammer. I don't know.
Put Big Show in there.
So then Willie Mack cut just a face promo.
The
Yeah.
mic didn't work.
All he did was just basically said thank you to Rich Swann for tagging with him. And the funny part was the mic didn't work at first, and the announcers blamed it on Matt Sydal. I thought it was kind of funny. And then Mac basically raffled off 2 seats in the front row. Whoever makes the most noise can come get them. And then basically ended his promo by saying, "Let's set this bitch on fire."
I
and
want to
then
be
walked
clear,
off.
though. I want to be clear because they stopped that really quick, but he said red sweatshirt guy. But then a green sweatshirt guy wanted to take it. He said, no, I said red sweatshirt guy, but I guess you can come too. And then he ended it.
True.
True. But the funniest thing is we
So
didn't
one guy
see
got
these,
there by being a dick. Is what I'm
we
trying to
didn't
say.
see these 2 dudes on camera though.
No. Yeah, they cut really fast away
Yeah.
from that. This actually had a lot of cuts in it, like weird moments where the stream or whatever glitched out when it got live. So when they put it on DVD, it was weird.
Yeah. So what happened after this, Albert? It would have been a promo.
Yeah, it was the TMZ
my
interview
fuck.
for Johnny Impact. I don't really know specifically what he said. He talked faster than I did during the thing. I'm not sure if he was just rushed for time or what, but it was hard to keep track of it. Basically, it was a promo on Aries. He brought up it was a short joke. I was like, I kind of tuned out after that anyway. It was like, okay, I don't care about short jokes. We've heard enough of those with Chad Gable. And then
It's over, baby.
yeah, he's back to Chad Gable now, so he's not Shorter G anymore. Tara Valkyrie had a few comments
Taya.
about Taya Valkyrie. I'm sorry.
I'm going to correct you like Chris Jericho.
What did he do?
He called Tay Conte Taya.
Oh, did he?
So Taya thought she was in AEW for a second.
Oh, so Taya Valkyrie said a few things about Tessa Blanchard, and then it cuts to Aries responding to what Johnny Impact said on the TMZ interviews about, and then basically said that Johnny Impact is using everything for publicity.
So
It's just setting up the story about their match later in the night.
So we're going to see we see many of these promos. We see another package later, and then we see both of them get interviewed. I am all for what they did with this because it made it feel real, and we were questioning what was going on in the main
Fuck
event.
yeah.
But fuck TMZ and everything they stand for. I did not like that.
Yeah, I don't like TMZ, not
Yeah,
whatsoever.
I haven't.
I didn't understand why that part needed that's like, oh, we're gonna make it ultra realistic by using this real news station that fucks up celebrities' lives.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you, I hadn't thought one for 1 second about TMZ until I saw it on this show for years. So irrelevant. But either way, they use it for to blur the lines of reality to make sure that we as
Yeah.
fans could get engaged with it.
Well, that part worked because
Yeah.
we were sitting in the main event talking about it.
But then after that, we had Eli Drake's
Well,
open challenge.
before that, we had Conan shown being
dumbass.
jumped by Eddie
Damn it.
Kingston. We had Conan
Well, we got
backstage.
showed Conan after he got jumped.
Yeah.
Yeah, Conan's just jumped at this point in time, and Ortiz and Santana are like, "What happened, dog?"
Dude, King jumped me. It was King. And I didn't know who King was. And then he had to tell me it was Kingston.
So then Eli Drake has his open challenge,
Yes, sir.
and he cuts a promo. What does he say in his promo, Albert?
All right. First things first, he says, I'm issuing an open challenge that says there's nobody here in New York that can hang with me. All you guys know and all you guys reclaim the famous pizza. He disses New York Giants as football players who were in the crowd.
They were practice squad players. We looked it up.
Yeah.
They're 1-5.
and
Yeah,
they're 1
yeah,
and 5.
nice, yeah. How's it feel being 1-5? And the crowd kind of goes boo, and some people laugh, and so in the middle of his promo, it cuts to James Ellsworth coming down the
All
ring.
right, let me explain this. I brought this up right before we started. I'm going to say it again. Not once when we started this did I think that we would ever review a James Ellsworth segment or match at all because I didn't think we'd touch Money in the Bank. So
Okay, so it's October 26, 2020. Who's the next guy you don't expect to have to rate? Who's the next guy? Because we're gonna have it, not by accident. We won't do it on purpose.
Yeah, I can't say it because I'm the one who makes the schedule.
Yeah.
he can make it
So-
happen. I don't want to tell him either because he'll make it happen.
No. You two both take a legitimate fucking guess.
I don't care. I don't care who we review,
And,
so.
I won't say if it's gonna happen or not.
I don't care who we review. I don't care. But this is more on him.
Okay.
On Legend.
That's a harder answer to make though.
Okay, like 3 guys.
Shit, I'm not answering this question.
Okay.
No, legitimately answer it though. Like, I will not obviously change the schedule just based on these 3 people.
No, really. Well, Hornswoggle, but that's going to come up anyways. We could have reviewed fucking Bound for Glory 2 days ago, and he would have been on the show.
That's true.
Like this.
Okay, so Hornswoggle's one that you're kind of like, okay, hopefully we don't review anything with him.
All right, this is gonna be. I'm gonna say this, and it's gonna be strictly this character, not the person, because it's gonna be harder for you to find it if you wanted to. No, Mr. America.
Ooh,
Nice.
Damn.
Ooh. Okay.
Damn, you got me.
Yeah, brother. Okay.
Find a pay-per-view with Mr. America.
I think there's one out there.
There is, but like if he's, there's not one in the match. I do not think he had a pay-per-view match.
Well, let me tell you something, brother.
God damn it.
Okay, so Ellsworth comes out, and
So, yeah, please.
instantly the crowd boos this guy. 'cause
You didn't give him a third option.
Oh, I thought that was
That was number 2.
That's enough. That's enough. Good. That's enough. That takes the cake. That's too. That's awesome. I never would have thought you said Mr. America.
Fucking Christ.
All right, so Ellsworth comes out. Immediately, the crowd just buries this guy. Boo! You suck, and all that kind of stuff. A delete chant started when he hit the ring. I thought that was great because he just come from his WWE run, and everybody shit on that.
Well, what about the part where as soon as the delete chant starts, Eli Drake goes, "That's the wrong guy."
Yeah, that's next. Yeah, he goes, "Nope, this is the wrong guy." You know, but Eli Drake has that great promo cadence like the Rock does.
Kavorka.
I was
Yeah.
just gonna say the delete thing was amazing because
That was like not generated by anything but the
no,
fans. The
and
fans
Matt's
did that.
been gone for like a year at least at this point.
It'll
like
never
a
go
year
away.
and a half or
Yeah.
something like 2 years maybe.
It'll never go away.
Especially now that he's back.
Ellsworth gets called out for not living or not being from New York by Drake.
living.
And then he says he loves New York because he used to live there, and he brings up Carmella and he used to rent the basement. And based on all that, he will defend New York against Eli Drake. No pop.
Well, I love how he goes, "I used to live in a girl's basement from Staten Island.
Yeah.
Can tell he couldn't afford the rent."
Well,
Yeah.
they booed away Staten Island because nobody in the city of New York actually likes Staten Island. Brooklyn Nine-Nine will tell you that.
Ellsworth continues by, Eli Drake says, how about a little sweet chin music, referencing the lack of chin for Ellsworth.
Which
And-
actually, when commentary first saw Ellsworth, one of the guys, I think it was
He said
Josh
switch him
Don
as
Callis,
well.
Matthews, so it goes,
Oh, Josh Matthews said it?
"Do I have to make a Do I have to make a chin joke?
here?
Yeah, played. It's whatever.
There's one other thing about when you get there.
So then Ellsworth responds by saying to Eli Drake, "Well, I might have no chin, but you have no butt."
And then they started chanting balls.
Yeah, because
balls.
the crowd just organically says balls because the word balls got censored.
They were also chanting pizza,
Yeah.
pizza.
I mean, the crowd didn't.
They didn't chant pizza. They were basically saying he sucked. But he said, "Yeah, I love pizza too," because it sounds so close to pizza. They were chanting that he sucked.
I'm kind of glad that from our perspective, watching the video, is that the crowd chanted balls because it got censored, even though the crowd had no idea that it got censored. I just thought that was kind of fun. And then Ellsworth says, "Okay, well, hey, look," he goes to his little catchphrase. Any man with two hands has a, and then he just hits Eli Drake with the mic, and they continue into their match.
Before we get into the match,
I thought it was actually cool. That's probably my favorite part of the whole Ellsworth part was when he actually hit him with the mic.
See, before we get into the match, and also, it's not the worst match on the show. I will defend this.
Me too.
But and that's very obvious what the worst match is. But no, it's weird because he said New York City a bunch of times. But I swear only once did he actually say New York City. I kept thinking he said Newark City.
He said Newark at
He
least
ran
once.
together, yeah.
At least once he said
Well,
Newark.
and that's New Jersey. So he might as well join the Giants and not actually being from New York.
All right, so Eli Drake took on James Ellsworth. Eli did a flapjack to Ellsworth.
That's what that was.
Drake did a power bomb to Ellsworth. Ellsworth did a sweet chin music to Drake.
He tried, got blocked, and then hit it.
Drake did 2 gravy trains to Ellsworth and won.
Because Ellsworth literally tried to do the legitimate sweet chin music with the whole foot
Oh,
stomp
yeah,
and
that
everything. I'm
one
like,
he
nah,
missed.
I would have been there.
Yeah, pretty. I liked how when they started to lock up, Eli Drake broke out. I thought it was funny.
Yep.
But when we went for the Styles Clash, I laughed. I was like, oh my
God, when he went for the Clash,
and then one gravy train led to another because the crowd chanted for another one.
I thought the great thing was right before he hit the first one, they chanted Gravy Train.
All right, and this is kind of where I got bored because Eli Drake after he won grabs the mic again. Now Eli Drake gets a lot of mic time, I must say. Sometimes it's good, but come on, dude. I know you got
his first mic time was good because it set up what happened and it was fine. This one, to me, felt like the most pre-scripted, determined moment. Because he literally just names up and says the keyword that needs to be said, and then
I'm calling out someone good, someone that's a challenge, someone that's a Hall of Famer.
Like he goes Hall of Fame caliber.
So then Abyss comes out.
Great.
And then
all this reminded
did you
me
write
of
the whole brawl for Abyss or no?
It wasn't much. There's a black hole slam, and then eventually
a shitty looking black hole slam.
It wasn't for Eli Drake with the ups that he has. It would have looked like total garbage.
There was a choke slam to the table.
Black hole slam, table, reverse choke slam, went to the top rope, ended up getting choke slam to the table anyways, and done. Yeah. Hall of Fame class of 2018.
The best part about that was when Eli Drake was on Brett's rope and he goes, he's so Eli Drake, and the crowd does it right back to him, but then he gets chokeslammed for his efforts.
All right, so what would we rate the James Ellsworth Eli Drake match?
I'm not going to give it less than a 5 because I like Eli Drake. And
I gave it directly a 5 because it did what it was supposed to do.
Yeah.
4. I hate Ellsworth so much. Him not having a chin takes me from a base of a 5 to a base of a 4. So 4.
Damn, a chin. Just a little. Wow.
What would you rate this dude if he was in a fucking battle royal or something with 30, 50 people or something?
If he showed up in the Royal Rumble, it'd automatically be 1 chin less of a star.
Okay, so now I'm guessing for every minute that Ellsworth will last in the Royal Rumble, it's like a 0.1 of a star.
Yeah, something like that. So if he lasted 20 minutes, he would take 2 stars off the match.
God,
Jesus Christ! Ellsworth lasts till the very end.
If he shows up number 1, in the match and stays until the third guy out, and he's in the match for an hour, that match would get -3 stars.
And the rest of the card would too, I imagine. It would just rub off on every other match.
And eventually they'd find ways to give him offense in that hour, and then you'd be like, well, that's even worse.
So we had a promo next, Albert. What's the promo?
All right, Tessa Blanchard is outside in public, and this is the weird part. She's wearing her belt.
She needs people to know she's the champ.
You don't like when wrestlers walk around with their belts?
Not in public.
Outside.
They're not, remember, wrestlers aren't real people, though. They're characters. So they gotta go out and be the character and hold the belts. They're not people.
Plus, Tessa was looking good.
Please pick up that I'm joking on that.
I know you are.
They're not people, Albert.
Wrestlers are okay. You're right.
They're independent contractors that can't work for any other promotion.
Okay, stop kayfabing it. Stop kayfabing it. Anyway, I just thought that was weird.
Oh, independent contract, that was not kayfabe. That's legit shit.
No, I meant your whole entire argument is you're
The
just
bit
trying
I
to,
was making before that
trying
was
to trying to validate everything.
Independent contract.
She says, I don't have anything specific, but she basically says she's going to beat Ty Valkyrie, and then they move to the Blanchard Valkyrie promo video, which is pretty damn good. We talked about this during the card. Their videos are just on point.
That's it. My only weird thing about this was they ended the live interview with Tessa and cut right to the video package that started with Tessa. So you went from Tessa talking live to Tessa talking in the video. It was weird.
We're used to that by now. With TNA.
Our last like 4 TNA shows have done all that. And like that's why I brought up Eli
It's
Drake.
been EC3.
Or I'm sorry, EC3, not Eli Drake. I'm sorry, I meant EC3.
Now you're talking about shows that aren't going to go up before this one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
we're not necessarily talking about that per se. It's just what happens is EC3 gets promo time, then EC3 gets match, then EC3 gets promo time before match.
and then one afterwards.
It's just because I brought that up about shows that we recorded that haven't been posted yet. What other show did we watch with Hard to Kill?
Sacrifice 2014.
Yeah. That's gonna be a fun one to watch back.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Even at this point, that was like 4 months ago.
But then we had the Knockouts title match: Tessa Blanchard versus Taya Valkyrie.
I'm just gonna say, holy shit.
Me too.
Yeah.
Taya does a nice head scissors to Tessa. Then they both do corner clotheslines to each other. Taya does a spear to Tessa. Tessa does a neck breaker on the apron to Taya, who's hanging from the middle rope. Tessa does her Magnum codebreaker to Tessa, in the corner to Tara.
What's the Magnum codebreaker?
It's the Magnum. It's the codebreaker, but she calls it the Magnum. In this,
I see.
In this particular show, they never called it the Magnum. They called it the codebreaker both times.
Gotcha.
Taya does a German to Tessa. There's corner knees to Tessa by Taya. There's the what the fuck?
Can you
God
read?
damn it! What is it?
His own handwriting befuddles him.
No, I'm trying to figure out the type of suplex she did to Taya.
Was it a superplex off the top rope?
Nope.
Something
it was
else.
a
We're not
suplex
there
that
yet.
has a Japanese name.
Oh, who cares?
The Taizo suplex to Taya.
Taizo Naito?
Taya does a TKO to Tessa.
I know where we're at.
Tessa does a cutter to Taya. Taya does a chokeslam and a moonsault to Tessa. Taya does a modified STF to Tessa. Then Taya does the road to Mahala to Tessa, and the referee gets distracted.
It's just Mahala, not Valhalla.
Mahala, whatever the fuck.
I'm pretty sure it's Valhalla.
Whatever.
It's a V.
Yeah, it's Valhalla.
Yeah.
Valhalla, whatever.
I heard you both times when we were watching. I'm pretty sure it's Valhalla.
Yeah.
Tessa does the buzzsaw DDT to Taya. Tessa does a Hurricane Rana to the corner to Taya. Tessa does the Magnum off the top rope to
The
Taya.
flying codebreaker.
So Tessa Blanchard gets a victory over Taya Valkyrie in a hard-fought fucking match.
Yeah.
This match is the best women's match we've watched. I don't even care what shows you watched about me. This is the best women's match we've watched.
Hands down.
To be 100% honest with you, you're still right.
I'm
Yeah.
sure I am.
Even on the ones that you did not watch.
That's why I was very clear. Like this was really good.
Yeah.
This was really, really good.
I like the little things like Tessa taking a powder at the beginning because she can't match up with Taya outright.
Except for the fact that Don Callis had to call it too.
He called it a powder.
He heard me. That's all.
Tessa's taking a powder.
He heard me. That's
Take
all.
it a powder. Take it a powder.
That superplex.
But he was also really good at saying buried a lot later on in the show.
Yeah, he was.
So he loves to use the technical terms that you're not supposed to use on commentary.
You're not supposed to use insider terms, Don Callis.
Take a powder.
Yeah, take a powder, please. That superplex, when it got turned into a dragon sleeper, was really cool. I didn't know what it was at first, but either way, it was a good transition.
Dragon Sleeper.
By the way, if you all don't know, Tessa ain't nothing to fuck with.
Yeah, no, that's the part you didn't put.
Tessa
that,
B
that,
ain't
was,
nothing
that,
to
that,
fuck
was,
with.
that was the second chant of the night. That was
Yeah.
great. It's a song.
I didn't care. I made a great point about that little ref spot. I'm glad it didn't factor into the finish directly because I would have been mad if the ref gets distracted by a goddamn ring
I
apron.
was saying, what the fuck's the point of fixing the ring apron?
Just turn around and
Have somebody else of the 10 people standing outside ringside fix it.
yeah. So like I didn't like that spot, but it helped get Ty Valkyrie some sympathy. I hope. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't know.
they-
I don't know where the storyline went from here, but
Thankfully, it didn't directly involve the finish.
I say,
Yeah,
since it
so-
didn't affect the finish, it's not going to affect my rating for the match.
Me
either.
neither.
that buzzsaw DDT and the kick out was phenomenal. 2 9/10. It's like Shawn Michaels level of kicking out
I'd
as
say
the
the
last
kick
second.
out was phenomenal, but I'd say because it's Taya and she's a bigger person
Yeah.
than Tessa's usually facing, when she does the spin, it didn't look as aggressive as it's supposed to be. Like she does the whole spin
True,
around.
I'll agree with that.
So like, is it all like it all worked out? And it's
Yeah.
just a little gripe to notice because
Well,
she's
well,
done it. She's done
yeah.
it better. Is all I'm saying.
Well, see, that's. I mean, you've seen it before. I haven't, so that's why it was great to me. This match was good. I gave it an 8.
I gave it an 8.5.
I'm actually with him. This is the great women's match.
Yeah.
This is better than the other show I brought up earlier, the Hard to Kill show that'll go up within the year.
No, and by the way, having. Oh, and one last thing. I'm glad Tessa Blanchard won clean. There was no real shenanigans that caused the finish to be.
There's no reason
Contested.
Tessa shouldn't have won clean.
Nobody got buried.
Yeah, and Valkyrie sold that, and Valkyrie looked fantastic. And she looks fantastic in the match and in herself. She's fucking.
And her attire.
Yeah, she's hot.
These are two people that both the main companies could use.
Yeah. Does she come up in any future shows? I'm just asking for personal curiosity.
So
She was on the
Not-
Hard to Kill show we watched.
they do not come up in shows that we have on the schedule currently.
Okay.
But they have been on shows we've recorded in the past.
But card subject to change.
Oh no! It's always
Yeah.
at the bottom of the asterisk next to it.
Don't worry, tomorrow I'm going to say I'm out for like 2 weeks.
Fuck you. No, you're not saying that.
Well, if we get Ty Valkyrie again, I'm always going to look
I'm not-
forward to
I'm
a
not
match,
missing full gear, don't
I,
worry.
I hope we get her again. She and Tessa Blanchard. We saw Tessa Blanchard against Callahan.
Sammy
Yeah,
Callahan,
that's what I'm
where she
saying.
won
Like, that's
the
why I keep bringing
title.
up Hard to Kill. I'm like, it'll go up in the year.
Where she
Yeah.
won the world title, man. That was
Yeah.
a great
It'll
match,
be,
too.
it'll,
was.
be, it'll be really bad to look back and see how much we changed in that 6-month period whenever I end up posting that compared to this.
Yeah, I know, right?
We did 2 shows in an hour.
Huh?
That when we did Hard to Kill, we did 2 shows in an hour. We did Hard to Kill for
Because the
first
fucking
time.
second one, Albert's falling asleep.
Oh no, it was. I don't know why I was tired that day. I haven't had that problem since.
We did 6 hours of wrestling and recorded for an hour. We got the Eddie Guerrero special coming up in a
You
couple
didn't. You
weeks.
weren't even sleepy during the Eddie Guerrero podcast.
We
but
got-
that
yeah.
fucking other one, you're like, I'm
We got
tired.
we got the Eddie Guerrero podcast coming up in a couple weeks, and that's 3.5 hours long. We had to watch 6.5 hours of wrestling just to get the 3.5 hours of audio.
And you were wide awake during the whole fucking thing.
It was. I don't know why that one day was. I don't know. Maybe the matches were just boring. I don't know.
I mean, yeah.
I don't know.
You fell asleep during the best match, though, the Sonata and Aries match.
Anyways,
I have no excuses.
start like outside of like talking about Hard to Kill, which will be posted whenever I decide. Everything I just named off will be posted in this order, because we will be posting Full Gear. We will be posting the Eddie Guerrero tribute on the day of his death. That will be happening.
Rest in peace, Eddie.
Cool. Viva la Raza.
All right, so then,
We didn't record it 2 months ago.
then what did we have for a promo after this?
Another interview outside, and who's the blonde's name that was interviewing everybody?
Mackenzie Mitchell.
I was gonna
Okay,
say
so
Mackenzie.
Mackenzie Mitchell had Moose outside, and he basically talked about his wardrobe. I don't know what you call those the African outfits with the hat and the little
I don't know.
embroidery
what
on
they're
the.
called either.
Is it a dashiki? I could be wrong about that. If anybody knows, comment please.
We just don't want to be offensive.
Yeah.
I think the weird thing about it was the Ward in the interview does not come out to the ring in it,
Then he
but he
wears it
comes
in the main
he wears
event.
it in the main
True.
event.
I didn't even notice that. Yeah, you're right. Like basically, he talks about his wardrobe, and that's the wardrobe fit for a king. And basically, he's telling Mackenzie Mitchell, like, just flirting with her to say, oh, "Yeah, by the way, you can be my queen." I think he kisses her on the cheek. but I
She's
could be
pretty
wrong.
hot too, so go for it. Moose.
Moose says Eddie Edwards was his brother, and Eddie Edwards will find out tonight how legends are made, and that's pretty much it.
So there's a nice promo package with Eddie Edwards and Moose. But then we go to Eddie Edwards and Moose, the worst match of the night.
Oh yeah, this is trash. God awful.
Yeah, I know.
So Moose does a shoulder tackle to Eddie. Then Eddie does the Boston knee party to Moose. They roll outside.
No. Eddie Edwards rolls outside.
Eddie Edwards rolls outside, and Killer Cross starts choking Edwards
Out of nowhere.
out.
Out of nowhere.
Edwards went for Kenny.
He went for Kenny, the Singapore cane. Then Killer Cross and Moose end up beating up Eddie Edwards.
So there's your DQ. So what would you rate that?
2.
1.
0.
That's horrible.
I don't rate that as anything.
I gave it a 2 just because
Why
they
be-
technically got in the ring.
The bell rang.
The bell rang.
Well, I can do that.
I would give you a 2 in a match too.
No,
Well,
I'm
thank
pretty
you.
sure if we had a triple threat match and we just got in the ring and you said that's a 2, I'd be like, I'm pretty sure this is gonna be a -5.
Yeah.
We could make it worse. Don't get me wrong.
Are we going to add up cumulatively with this in the next segment? Because with Tommy Dreamer, because like
I'm calling them 2 separate segments.
I'm calling them 2 separate matches.
Okay, fine. But this one's this is a 1. It was whatever. Why even bother with this part?
I mean,
That-
the next
that's why
part.
I'm saying it's a 2.
I'm gonna say the
being
next
a little
part.
nice.
The next part's not even better.
yeah, but at least it's.
Well, not that much better. It's
by the
better.
way,
It's not that much.
So what does Tommy Dreamer have to do with any of this?
Tommy
Yeah,
Dreamer.
he's there and it's New York City.
Well,
and
no. So in this whole feud, Tommy. So the whole thing starts with when Eddie turned face. But he kind of unleashed a darker side in his personality.
Tommy.
No, Eddie did.
Eddie did. Okay.
Because Sammy Callahan legitimately busted his eye socket with a baseball bat on Impact.
Ouch.
Yeah, because Callahan sucks.
And then
I
Eddie
don't
Edwards
either.
tried to get back at him, get revenge on him, to the point where his wife got involved in the storyline, and his wife's like, "Don't do it, Eddie, don't do it, Eddie." Then Tommy Dreamer is the voice of reason. Tommy Dreamer's like, "Come on, dude, you know this isn't you, come on." Well, Tommy Dreamer is the voice of reason for him.
The
Tommy
innovator of
Dreamer is
violence.
one of his best friends.
Okay.
So then Moose and Cross start beating the shit out of Edwards. Tommy Dreamer comes out and he goes, "Hey, let's make it a match."
Yeah.
So it's a no disqualification match. Eddie Edwards and Tommy
I
Dreamer.
want to make a very clear point about this. When he said, "Hey, let's make it a match," they did not specify that said match would be a no disqualification match.
You're right.
They just
did
started to
not.
hit each other with shit, and they just called
They
it.
assumed it was hardcore because it's Tommy Dreamer, right?
So Eddie Edwards and Tommy Dreamer versus Killer Cross and Moose. Edwards chokes Cross out as Dreamer spits beer at him.
I'm gonna say this right off the start before you go through everything. If this is your first time experiencing Killer Cross or carrying Cross now in NXT,
You're not going to be impressed.
yeah, this is bad. This
Yeah.
is really bad.
You will not be impressed if this is your first impression of him.
Yeah.
Because he is actually quite good.
Dreamer does a crossbody to Moose. Cross does a suplex to Edwards. Moose does a drop kick to Edwards. Cross chokes Dreamer with a tie. Edwards does a hip toss to Moose outside the ring.
Look good.
Edwards does a Hurricane Rana to Cross.
The over the top hip tops, yeah.
Moose clotheslines Dreamer. Edwards then does the Blue Thunder Bomb to Moose. Dreamer does a cutter to Cross.
I'm gonna have something to say about that later.
There's a
in
Saito
other matches.
suplex from Cross to Dreamer. And Eddie Edwards and Tommy Dreamer beat Killer Cross and Moose.
Yeah. I will say this: the crowd loved it, so that right there makes me appreciate it just a little bit more than I might have if there's no crowd. Let's put it that way. Because like Tommy Dreamer coming out wearing the Dusty Rhodes polka dots, by the way. I don't is that.
So ever since Dusty died, he's been doing that.
I mean, he's Tommy Dreamer, the Dream. So I figured that's a nice correlate. I thought it was pretty cool
It's
that
kinda what-
the one guy who's
and
gonna.
that might be exactly why he does it.
It's kind of this. Tommy Dreamer does a lot of things. 'Cause literally, we're doing this, and you already said what date it was when we recorded this. So 2 days ago, this is gonna go up in a week.
Tommy
but
Dreamer.
2 days ago, Tommy Dreamer came out with the Road Warrior T-shirt and the Road Warrior face paint for Animal. He does that shit.
That just shows respect, and I love Tommy Dreamer
He
for
does
that.
that for things.
Yeah.
So and
The-
hopefully, whenever it gets down to that point, people will do that for him.
Yeah, it was just weird. Like,
I respect the fuck out of Dreamer. not gonna
yeah,
lie.
he's still doing it. He may not do it all the time, but he's still going out there taking bumps. And
The thing is he still even runs his House of Hardcore promotion.
yeah, I
You
mean,
can't really do it right now.
COVID.
Yeah.
yeah, but still though, this whole part just could have been the match, and we could have avoided the first part, which was what we really wanted to see because
They weren't gonna have
that
the
was the
match.
hype package.
The problem is
That's why I'm annoyed with it.
they had
Yeah.
hype packages for a match that people actually cared about that never happened.
Right. So why? After talking about this tag match, I'm gonna want to know if Moose and Eddie Edwards went forward with their program.
I just don't like Moose.
Yeah, there was not much to say about this tag match. I mean, there's a couple spots, but it was just I didn't even care anymore. So I'm going under 5 on this one. I'm giving it a 2, even if Dreamer was in it.
I'll give it a 3. Just
Yeah, I was
because
I didn't care. I stopped taking notes on it because I just didn't care.
you were talking about spots in the match. I thought the funniest spot in the match is fucking and I don't know why it was funny to me, but Karrion Kross has suspenders on.
Yeah.
So he does the shirt tear thing, and it doesn't really work because he's trying to like pull his shirt off, and he's got the suspenders on. So it's like, oh, you gradually open your shirt.
Seeing at this point in the show here, because I'm nice, I did a cumulative review of part 1 and 2 and made it a 6.
How do you go? What did you give the first match?
2.
How
So
do
I
you
would
go
have
from
given
2 to 6?
I would have given this part a
He
4.
added them both up.
Okay.
Cumulative.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I got
I would
you.
have given this part a 4
Okay, so we kind of agree. I gave it a yeah.
because it's not.
I'm not being too. I whatever.
I'm not being too nice about it, but at the same point in time, it wasn't great.
My
Like,
issue
it was
was-
just pointless.
At least the Eli Drake Ellsworth thing had a point, and they did it, and it was over.
They had some comedy too.
And then they did the Then they did that, and then they did the Abyss thing. This had the match everybody wanted to see.
Mm-hmm.
That drastically underperformed, very very fast.
Yeah.
And then they did a clusterfuck tag team match because nobody knew what the fuck was going on. The bell rang and they just started beating the shit out of each other.
Yep.
They didn't clarify rules
Rules.
or anything like that.
No.
And they just fucking did it, and the match ended, and
Yeah.
they moved on.
I did. Moose coming out with those chicks reminded me of The Godfather and his whole train. So
That was pretty cool.
I
You
was
thought
pretty funny.
Chamel was there for a second?
They kind of look like Charmel the last one.
I don't know.
A younger version of Booker T's wife?
So did Moose and Eddie Edwards move on from this on their own? I'm
Uh,
sorry. Against each other, did they continue?
They did on Impact. They didn't do it on another pay per view.
this
I
is
don't
not-
remember correctly.
This is the problem I have when you say it's WrestleMania. They say Bound for Glory is
Right.
their big show.
Right.
Well, it's the big show.
Well,
And there's so much really good stuff on this show. They're like, okay, I can see that. And then there's shit like this. I was like, why would you put like if
Actually, okay. I stand corrected.
they did go to
On the next
Slammiversary?
show, Homecoming, Eddie
Okay.
Edwards goes against Moose in a Falls Count Anywhere match.
Okay.
Also, Eli Drake takes on Abyss on the same show.
no way.
So they did move
Monsters
forward
Ball.
with some of this.
Oh god, we gotta.
Wait, they didn't put a Monsters Ball match on here?
No.
But no, like that's the kind of point I'm still making. Like that kind of works, but those pay-per-views are 2.5 months after this, and it's weird to have that story go on for that long.
They also have a rematch of Tessa and Taya.
Like I said,
I'd watch that.
I mean that's like Backlash, but Backlash after Mania is like a week or a couple like a month after.
It happens right after WrestleMania, like right after it.
But like it's
It's
like
just pre-recorded.
if you're gonna have your WrestleMania,
I'm not reading the rest of the card, but that's a good fucking card too.
if you're gonna have your WrestleMania like this, like
Yeah,
Not as many stipulation matches.
some
the next
things
card, though.
don't fit, and
Yeah.
some things do. Like we'll get to the matches.
One of
later
these
on.
things is not like the other.
Yes, we'll get to the matches later on that
It
definitely
does not
feel.
compute. It does not compute.
Like-
It does not compute.
Okay, robot. The matches coming up feel like
They
TNA
belong.
TNA style Mania matches. Your phone is talking because you said something to it.
What the fuck?
Google, shut the fuck
You're
up.
not even near the phone.
It's sensitive, you know. I got that kind of voice.
It wants to talk to you.
I got that kind of voice. Hey, girl.
Your robot girlfriend wants to say hi.
Do you give it pillow talk?
No.
It's a dick time.
Pillow talk to my phone.
Dude,
Yeah,
that
you know
reminds me
me.
of the movie Jaxie when he's plugging his phone in. Plug me in, plug me out, plug me in, plug me out. Oh yeah, plug it in, plug it in, plug it in.
With a robot voice.
Yep.
Plug in, plug out, plug in. Oh, well, I can't even do it.
Oh
right?
yeah,
No,
that's
he
the
nailed it.
stuff.
Oh
But,
yeah.
No,
That's
like
the stuff.
the matches coming up, they fit the idea.
They fit the mold of WrestleMania.
We like I said, well, this is 18, so 15 years or 13 years before this is when we watched 05, and 05 was the first one, and every match on that fit
Nah.
for a new company. They didn't have the reputation that this match is on there that didn't fit.
I was gonna say, fucking that Shark Boy match didn't fit.
No, but like overall, like the stories they were telling felt
Does
big.
not compute.
I'm saying there's stories on that card that felt big for where they were as a company.
I'll agree with that.
This doesn't belong on a Mania card in
No.
any company that
No.
considers it their Mania.
No,
Right.
not this particular match. I agree with that.
Yep.
So then, what happens afterward is we have an OVE promo.
Yeah.
Fuck you. Which is what they want me to say.
All right,
so
I'm going to give my
fuck
opinions
you.
on Sami Callihan in this one because there's a different opinion of him now than it was when I watched Hard to Kill against Tessa Blanchard.
Is that good or bad?
It's not that great, and you will laugh. I think. Basically, the OVE promo was hyping up their match at Bound for Glory against. Well, we'll get to that in a second. He keeps saying OVE equals buy rates and ratings, and okay, we'll put Ohio on the map, and we will take down the machine. He's in the Callahan's in, but basically not letting any of the guys speak. Maybe they can't. I don't know. But he's in the camera.
They're not good promos.
I'm also going to say everything he just said there, their ratings went down from here to now.
So go figure. So he's in the camera, and also he does this during the match too. And he has this friggin' like short hair, like he reminded me of when Bob Backlund was in WWE like '93 around then, when he's in the camera just screaming at people. Like he was acting like that raving lunatic who would just come in and go God. He would put the chicken wing on you and look at his hands.
Validate my existence.
Hey, at least Bob Backlund never had fucking snot or spit dripping off of his face.
That's not great either.
And so like that's the first thing I thought of when I kept seeing him in the camera, this like screaming into the camera OVE over and over again, like he forgets his fucking team name.
OVE.
Yeah.
Well, then on like I pointed out on the marquee after this promo that says Sammy Callahan and OVE, and you're like, because he thinks he's better than them, or he thinks he's bigger than them.
Yeah.
Like, well, what's the fucking point?
He's technically the leader.
Yeah, but it's still OVE. You either are OVE or you're not.
Yeah.
It's in any faction. Like when Evolution had matches, they're now like Triple H and Evolution. Ric Flair and the Four Horsemen.
Dude, they should have did Triple H and Evolution.
Yeah.
Like that kind of shit. Like, that just makes me want to see that Triple H and Evolution.
It sounds like a band name, Triple H and the Evolution.
Shawn Michaels and D-Generation
Yeah,
X.
that's it.
It's awesome. Got it.
Or like Hulk Hogan in the NWO.
Wade Barrett in the next.
Kenny Dykstra and Spirit Squad.
Ooh, whoa.
No, man, at this point, you might as well have said Dolph Ziggler in the Spirit Squad.
Oh, God.
Kenny Dykstra with this guy, Dolph Ziggler, in a Spirit
So,
Squad.
speaking of rules, we have an OVE rules match.
Which essentially is no rules match.
OVE versus Brian Cage and the Lucha Brothers.
I didn't know Ohio had their own wrestling rules. I mean, it's
I
pretty
didn't know
cool.
we were going to keep doing matches where AEW faces TNA.
Yeah, you brought like all these guys are, especially on this side over here,
On
on
the
Phoenix, Pentagon Jr. and Brian Cage. They're all in AEW kicking ass.
And we have a match later where three of the people in that match are also in
And literally on the OVE side, two of the guys are in Impact right now, and one of them is not.
Yeah,
Which one is?
Dave Christ is not.
because of the whole movement.
Me Too movement.
What does Jake Chris do?
Me
then?
Too, and speaking
Dave Christ is the one who fucked up.
Oh, yeah. Okay, what does Jake Chris do in AEW? What's he called?
And, he's in
TNA.
TNA, but he's known as Jake Christ, though. He's just not doing anything.
I'm going to
currently.
correct this right now because we keep doing this. Impact. Got it. We got
Impact,
It
TNA.
is TNA because TNA is the way.
Yeah,
we
but they
know
changed
it.
their name. You're right.
It's Impact. Impact Wrestling, sponsored by Cobda, whatever the fuck.
Condom.com.
Condom.com.
No, okay, no
Which
wonder
they
the move's
wouldn't
called-
stop saying throughout the show. They there's a segment, I don't know when it was in the show, it might be later, but they go to the commentators like, oh, we got our mugs and our
Condoms.
Oh, the
our
shilling.
condoms.com.
Yeah.
They're
mugs.
showing up
So no wonder
products and
Tessa
shit.
Blanchard's renamed her move Magnum. Okay, I got it. I'm with you.
Oh, she's got the Magnum. I got you.
So first things first, there are super kicks galore.
Yes. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not even gonna comment about who hit what or when, but there was a
Yeah.
lot of super kicks.
This is audio notes for me, by the way. I couldn't write to save my life to keep up with this fucking match.
Even when you were trying to write in other matches, you couldn't keep up.
Pentagon does multiple
Don't bury
sling
me.
blades to
I'll bury you.
Sammy.
Bury you like Austin Aries. Buried the company.
Phoenix does a springboard headbutt to Jake Christ. Phoenix does another springboard headbutt to Jake Christ. Sammy does a springboard clothesline to Phoenix. The Lucha Bros super kick both Christs. Phoenix does a tope to Sammy.
I didn't know you were squared.
What?
You said both Christ.
Both Christ.
Christ.
Chris squared.
Call them
Chris?
Christies. Call them
Chris?
Christies.
Phoenix does the tope to Sammy. There was a botched dive by Cage. So then there was a last call to Jake Christ out onto everybody. Brian Cage suplexed Sammy into the ring. The Lucha Bros both super kicked Sammy. Jake does a rolling Samoan drop to Phoenix. Dave did a DDT to Pentagon. Phoenix did a corkscrew cutter to Sammy. Pentagon did a suplex powerbomb combo to Jake. Cage did a powerbomb to Sammy. Then the Lucha Bros did a package piledriver to Sammy. Cage did a last call Samoan drop combo to the to the Christs.
That was actually really cool. Showed how strong he was.
Pentagon did a code breaker to Dave. So Jake attempted to do his seeing eye to Cage, which is a cutter. So he tried to do a cutter to Phoenix who was on Pentagon.
Oh, something else. Sorry.
He missed.
Okay, so I want to talk about. I'm not even going to wait until you're done talking. I want to talk about the spot because it's not that he missed. If they would have even that he missed, if they could have landed it right, they could have made it look more believable. The problem was Phoenix almost went too far and almost landed on top of the guy that was
Which would have been
there.
hilarious.
And he landed on top of the guy that was trying to do the move. So it's why it looks like a clusterfuck because the landing was so poor that it really shows how much of a botch it was.
Sammy then did the pile driver to Pentagon on the apron. OVE did the art seeing eye to Cage, which is a cutter. OVE then did a bunch of super kicks and regular kicks to Cage, sorry. Sammy did a pile driver to Cage, and OVE takes the victory.
Yeah, I laughed out loud when
What did you say at the end of the match?
I said that I guess in 6-man tags, OVE's finisher is 16 kicks and a spike pile driver just to make sure he gets the job done right.
Pretty sure you counted and you're like, oh, there's 17 kicks, but they missed at least one of them.
Yeah, one of them kind of like slipped off or whatever. The first thing I saw it was when
Cage was doing his best Ultimate Warrior Hulk Hogan impression.
dude, that guy, like the first thing I said is like I think Brian Cage ate the X Division because he's X Division champ, so no wonder he has the belt, right?
There's nobody to compete for him because they're all dead.
I always love the little things like it's been lately it's just been like a little trend with the guy a small guy jumping into a bigger guy and it's
You
paying for
fucking
it.
hate it, but now you're starting to laugh.
Well,
No, I always laugh about it, but it annoys me to a point. But after a while, you just gotta laugh at it.
See, in this match, the 3 times that we know about it with Cage, it was actually impressive.
Yeah, well, so they're
Stupid Chris jumping into Cage.
he did-
I mean, who else can do it? I
the
don't think Sidney
three-
Callahan would do it.
The 3 I know is the one outside where he caught him and powerbombed him into the apron.
Yep.
And then right after that, he caught him in the suplex
That's
position, which was he didn't do anything with it, but it's still cool.
yeah.
And then the other one was when he did the overhead throw with this
Yeah.
Samoan drop was great.
That was fun.
That was my favorite spot of the match was when he caught him up in the suplex. Like that both guys had to do that perfectly right. Good job.
Because he had the guy
was so much
jumping had
fun.
to balance his weight too. Because I don't care how strong you are, you're not going to stop someone's forward momentum.
No, you're
Yeah.
not going to.
This was the first match with a tope, and you could tell they moved the barricades back a little
And
bit.
they used it.
Yeah.
Tope suicida.
So what was that little spot where Callahan is in the stink face position and I'm sorry, it's Dave Christ was like I don't think it was in Tree of Woe, but he was tied up somehow and it was like
The one guy was down the.
and then did the cannonball.
So
It
literally,
just looked-
literally that was Phoenix and Penta, and Phoenix launched Penta into the corner to do a cannonball to both of them.
Yeah,
It's
it was
weird
really
because
cool.
if you watch it, so they're in that spot. Phoenix throws himself at Penta. Penta catches his feet, and
then
Phoenix
flips him.
flips.
Yeah.
So Penta flips into him. Like I love the Lucha Brothers, especially Ray Phoenix.
Yeah.
They're so fast.
So during the match, you said was that you said the Ray Phoenix equation, or was that somebody on TV saying that?
I said something about Ray. Yeah, it's basically Ray Phoenix.
So what's the
does-
equation?
It does shit that people don't do, man. That's all of this.
So it's like A squared plus B squared equals C squared. All that squared.
It's Rey Mysterio plus a bunch of cocaine. How about that?
There you go. Okay, that's fine by
I'm
me.
not-
Umberto El Coquino.
I'm not saying. Hey, that's my line. I'm not saying Ray Phoenix does cocaine, but that's what it looks like. It looks like Ray.
Yeah.
It looks like Rey Mysterio developed into whatever Ray Phoenix is, and took a bunch of drugs.
Oh, it kind of reminds me of like if Sabu wasn't as crazy, but twice as good.
The only thing I have a problem with Ray
Does that make
Phoenix
sense?
is, and you will see it here with the last year in AEW, is he gets hurt a lot. And it's not necessarily his fault when he gets hurt.
The other guys can't keep up with him.
Well, one time he didn't get caught. Just recently with the Penta match, he landed on his head. But like, it's he gets hurt, but he does all these things.
Speaking
And you
of,
watch it looks amazing.
so that corkscrew drive over the top rope from the stage.
Oh yeah, when he fucking ran over.
Yeah.
Okay, so when he did like the super
That was
RKO
so
drop.
great.
Yeah.
So here's another thing I was going to talk about. As much as we saw it in this match, we've seen in other matches. I think there's one in the main event too. I love it and I hate it.
What?
The overuse of the cutter.
Yeah, it's
There's
just
like
it's like
5 or 6 of them in this match alone. in different-
DDTs,
in different variations.
planchas, topes. I mean, a lot of them just get overplayed, but at the same time, though, it's beginning to be a fundamental hold, and then everything is getting leveled on top of that.
I still think Randy
to make a
Orton's
match
the only-
to, like that second gear is things beyond like a DDT and a cutter and all that.
I still think Randy Orton's the only one that can pull it off as an effective finishing maneuver because everybody in the Indies or TNA or
It's presentation.
because Ray Phoenix fucking sprinted off the stage,
That was
jumped
sweet.
into the ring, and just fucking dropped him. I'm like, oh, that was awesome. And like, how is that not? match?
And at that point, I was thinking everyone is hitting everything. There's no fuck ups, and I
then
jinxed
you fucked it
and
up,
then fucking I don't-
Speaking of another cutter, that shit.
which Chris fucked up. I forget which
Jake.
one. Jake either he slipped or whatever, but he hit the ground, and I think it was who took the RKO.
Phoenix was the one that's supposed to take it. yeah.
And he just fell because like what else you supposed to do? I mean, at that point you can't redo it. But they got but I'm glad that they were able to do the RKO spot again later.
Aside from that, there
So-
wasn't any fuck ups though.
No, that was it.
No, that takes a half star off just for that one because it was that
Unfortunately, because
It's-
that was the one. That was the one that should have been
much-
hit.
It should have been a hell of a move, and
He's on the
it's-
guy's shoulders. It was
It's
so
also
great.
the most blaring omission on the entire show. Like everybody was hitting everything on the show.
Yeah.
So like that one
Yeah.
issue.
I mean, I'm sure 9 times out of 10 that spot gets hit perfectly. It was just the one time we watched, and it didn't get hit. I guarantee it.
I'm not even sure they usually done that spot. That was a Penta and Phoenix thing with the on the shoulders bit. And then
Yep.
he was just trying to escalate it with the coming out of nowhere to grab him for the RKO, and they
Yep.
missed it.
Yeah.
Yup.
He completely missed. He didn't get the air to grab Phoenix by the head, and he just kind of touched him. He's like, "Oh shit! Well, I gotta fall."
I got a question for you though. Is it a jackal?
Jackal. It's a jackal. It's a
Is it
jackal.
a jackal?
It wasn't a
It's a
jackal
jackal.
the first 30 times I asked you. It's not.
The second time Kyle said that, I went off. I'm like, this is so funny.
It's funnier than your joke.
Yeah, but the reference holds true though. But still, I never would've thought
I'm
it.
looking at him.
Don Callis is the jackal.
Yeah, but he's not
Also-
really a jackal. Is he a jackal or is he not a jackal?
It's a jackal. He's a jackal. He's a jackal. He's a
But
jackal.
but see now you can't get mad because he was a jackal.
Yeah,
So
he was a jackal.
Also-
he didn't say that though.
Also, if he would have said a Cyrus the Virus reference, that would have been funny.
I don't know
That
who
would have
is.
worked better because
When he was in ECW.
Oh,
problem
I
is,
don't
that
know.
would have worked better because we couldn't make the jackal joke. That's far more known by everybody.
Absolutely. This match gives match 8.
Oh man, I give it a 9.
Yeah. I don't know. Sometimes spot fests aren't my favorite match. Like, and I'm not saying it as a derogatory thing overall, but to me, there's no story here because like all it is just
I'm just impressed by the fact that these guys can do all these fucking moves.
yeah.
All right. I'm gonna give it an 8. It was gonna be an 8.5.
The RKO spot, right?
Yes, but it would also be a 9 if I didn't hate Sami Callihan and OVE so much.
Yeah. and
I
that-
love Brian Cage. I love Penta and Phoenix,
Yeah.
especially Phoenix.
I have to admit, like I wasn't like if this is my first time seeing Sami Callihan, I would never wanted to see him versus Tessa Blanchard. So I'm glad I saw that match first.
no,
but
they're
like-
gonna see this review first.
I'm if I sorry.
No, we talked about it enough times already that I made a joke about the fact that that video's never gonna go up. So
Plus, on top of that, there's another Sammy Tessa match.
Yeah. Well,
Before that-
yeah, we haven't seen it yet though.
it wasn't for the title.
No.
But the but he was consistently saying OVE in the match. I don't know if the crowd was chanting it or they're just doing
No,
it. but,
they were chanting it, and then they were also saying "sucks" at the end.
oh, okay, well, good because like I'm getting tired of him saying what his team name is. We get it. Okay, what did you do? Forget? Come on.
You got to think though, it's major heel heat,
Remember, it's
It
go away.
It was
heat.
almost go away heat for me.
and that's fine. That's what he wants.
No, nobody wants go away heat.
He wants you to hate him to the point where you want him to go away.
Well,
No company wants their athletes to get go away heat.
yeah. So like
Go
if he-
away heat loses ratings.
If he did
Nobody
it a little bit
wants that.
less, I think it's just it just got so obnoxious. I was like, okay, I just don't care anymore. I know who you are, but you keep saying it as if I need to care more. Like
I mean, thankfully he
I
didn't
don't.
get any fucking snot stuck on his face like the last time.
Yeah. Jeez, yeah, that was gross.
Made it
seen-
memorable.
I've seen two. Weirdly enough, I've seen 2 Sami Callihan matches, and they both rate decently for the lack of Sami Callihan. Like, he's not the reason they rate well.
Yeah. Well, and bear in mind, I don't think that he sucks. Because his future character is great, but this version of it, like I said, it reminded me of fucking Bob Backlund back in '94. It just was like a dude who's just talking out of his ass.
See,
and
and this is
yeah.
where he started getting the OVE gimmick.
You
Is
know what
right
we-
about this time.
You know what we were doing in 04 or in 94? We were trying to figure out how to say words and going, wah, wah.
You know what I was doing?
You were banging chicks, weren't you?
I was starting to. So.
Nailed it.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
So then we had a promo
Yeah.
for the OGs and King, a.k.a. Eddie Kingston.
No, this is Austin
We did the
Aries.
Austin Aries thing first.
Oh, Austin Aries first? Okay, Austin Aries is talking to us.
So we
He's
get
yelling at us.
so we're going to get one promo from each of the main event guys, and you'll get the Johnny Impact one later. So Austin Aries says he's going to make the title prestigious again. That's pretty much you just trying to unbury a title you just buried, and says that Johnny Impact doesn't care about the title or the company, and he talks about how things have gone personal because of the TMZ interview and the reactions thereafter. And he says it's not a joke or a game. I'm here to win this match and basically beat you up in the process.
Then we had OGs and King, right?
Yeah.
OGs and King are just like, yeah,
I
we
didn't
took
know-
up that Conan, man. Yeah.
I didn't know what the fuck
Let's
they're-
chill.
It seemed to me Eddie Kingston was taking over this promo, and I really just lost track of what he was saying. I didn't care.
It was really kind of, you couldn't really hear what he was saying.
Yeah.
So then we went into the Concrete Jungle Death Match. LAX versus the OGs.
So, Concrete Jungle Death Match. All right.
First things first
I was very
is
intrigued.
there was a rap concert for the entrance of of LAX.
Yeah.
We don't know what the fuck the rappers were saying, but they swore a couple times.
They said suck my dick once.
The dick was censored though.
Yeah.
Suck my dick.
But the problem is when you say suck my and nothing comes after it, what's the first thing that comes to literally any adult person's head?
Pussy.
Ass.
Suck my ass. He's right.
Suck-
It's suck my ass. 98% of people believe
Suck my
that when you say
ass.
suck my
Suck
blank,
my toe.
people say
Lemon?
suck my ass. No, ass. You got it right.
Yeah, they went to censored
I just
toe.
guessed. I'm sorry. I didn't even really know. I just guessed. Wow,
People
I'm good.
love
I'm
to
good.
eat ass. You need to realize it's 2020. Get with the program.
Dude.
Do you like to eat ass?
No.
Oh yeah. Have you ever
That was
tried
like
it?
the most genuine reaction I've ever heard him say. No. He didn't even think about it. Nope.
So
For a split
LAX
second.
It was suck my dick. Clearly, I want to make that clear.
LAX starts hitting the OGs with trash can lids.
I'm sorry. Before you describe the ring before we go into this. This it's kind of
Okay.
important.
The ring.
I also have something else. to
The
do
ring
this guy.
setup is outside the ring. There is no plastic, or there's no mats. In the ring, there are no mats, so it's just planks of wood. There are no turnbuckle coverings.
And there's 2 tables.
There are tables set up on the outside of the ring as well.
Okay.
So, and one's marked LAX and one's marked OGs.
So there was a little bit of concrete. Did you see any trees?
No.
So
the point of the concrete jungle, there's no trees.
so there's no jungle.
There's no trees. You the term concrete jungle.
I'm joking. God damn
I
it.
got you. I got you.
Because it's a funny. It's
I tried to rift off of your rift, and you're rifting away from
rifting.
my rift.
We don't riff. We riff.
Rift.
It's 2 F's.
Rift.
Riff raff?
Yeah, whatever, dude. Vocabulary is not your
Hey,
strong suit.
audio podcast.
LAX.
Ew.
LAX hit
Hey, actually, I want you to explain why are they called the OGs?
because they're the original LAX.
There we go. So it's LAX versus LAX, and nobody knows what the fuck is going on. Got it.
I didn't know that. Okay, I'm glad you
So
said that.
LAX
See,
is
even he learned something.
LAX is the team of Santana and Ortiz and
Proud
Conan,
and powerful.
and the OGs are Homicide and Hernandez and
The future AEW World Heavyweight Champion Eddie Kingston.
Eddie Kingston, who
Probably
Eddie
not.
Kingston was not an original LAX member, mind you. Conan was.
So they're kind of backwards.
In the promo package, the OGs ran over a kid.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that kid dead, dude. That kid died. There's no way that kid didn't die.
And they're not in jail.
It was so much worse than.
It's on camera.
As you would say.
What's that?
So much worse than what?
Hubris.
Is that what I said?
No, you said so much worse than when Stone Cold got run over.
Oh yeah, it's true. Which was like, I mean, Rikishi should be in jail. Triple H should be in jail.
But
Somebody
anyway-
ran over a kid. What was that kid's name? No one cares. It's wrestling. Wrestling.
Wrestling reasons.
But anyways, LAX hit
Mexican
the OGs
cartel,
with
fuck it,
trash
go.
can lids.
Yep.
A lot.
King does a suplex to Santana. Ortiz hits the OGs in the head of trash can lids again. Homicide trash can lid to Ortiz. King does a tope onto both members of LAX. Hernandez border tosses Homicide onto LAX outside the ring. Ortiz hits a Northern Lights suplex to Homicide. Hernandez pounced Ortiz right onto the table in the corner. There is a Santana does a dive onto Hernandez outside the ring. King got suplexed by Santana into an exposed corner turnbuckle in the corner.
Corner turnbuckle corner.
LAX superplex to Hernandez. Conan comes to the ring and hits the OGs with a sock full of quarters.
To be fair, right before Eddie was about to end one of them.
Yeah.
LAX does the street sweeper to King, and LAX wins.
I still love the Sweet Sweeper. I don't know why. It's just a neckbreaker power bomb, and the neckbreaker part really doesn't do anything, but
But it still looks good. It's like the Meltzer driver. It's really just a pile driver. So
with slightly more force.
yeah. The idea of this match intrigued me from the start. I had no idea what to expect out of this, and then when I see the planks and all
Before
that
they
stuff,
even started hitting people, you're just like, somebody better not get hurt.
I know
This
the planks are moving. I mean, like eventually,
They had to
like
pull
under the
the
ring
one
was
board,
exposed. So you
Well,
could-
they had to pull the one board off so they could push.
yeah,
all
what
the
was that
board.
one in there for? Yeah, it was like extra.
Well, and it was bad too, because every time they would fucking take a move, you could see the planks moving.
That superplex
Yeah.
spot, he talks about it like what fucking, I think it was Santana that took it, and he lands and the fucking board's next to him shooting the air.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck?
there was I like the spot where I think it was Hernandez, pretty much bodied Ortiz into a table
He
while
did
Ortiz
the
was running.
pounce.
He did a pounce, pretty much.
It's a lot better than when Eddie took his spot through the table.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Eddie kind of
He
slid
just
through
fell.
his table.
Yeah, I think he just fell. Santana. Okay, what was that move where one of the guys? Shit, I forget who did it. You mentioned it. It was the one where the guy pretty much somersaults over the top rope via his partner. Who did
Oh,
that
that's
one?
when,
Border toss.
Border
It's when
toss. Okay.
Hernandez tosses
Hernandez
Homicide.
tossed Homicide out. That's the border
And you
toss.
thought Homicide was no selling, but he was actually.
Yeah, 'cause I was having a hard time figuring out who was who.
That's his finishing move, by the way.
Yeah. So
toss.
Hernandez superplexed got superplexed by LAX. I'm sorry, by Santana and Ortiz.
Sortana.
And all the boards pretty
Kingdom
much
Hearts
like
almost.
all the
Sora.
boards, they weren't nailed down, which is a good thing because it allowed for as the only way they can have some give. But they bounced up in the air. I thought they were gonna expose areas where like people could break their
I
ankles,
think even they
snap or
fucked up
something.
because they're like, oh, one too many boards, better pop that one out there. 'Cause when
Yeah.
Eddie Kingston, when the OGs first came out, he saw it and he was trying to like kick the board back down.
Yeah.
Because obviously,
The ref was too. The ref had two jobs in this
I mean,
match.
obviously it fit on one side, but for some reason
Yeah.
it didn't fit on the other, and then it's like,
Yeah,
fuck
it's
it,
so
we're gonna take
weird.
this board out.
Yeah.
It
The
was
ref-
weird that it didn't
But then when they took the board out, that's what left those gaps.
I thought to God they were going to use it, but I guess not. But like the ref had two jobs to keep those boards in place and to count the pin count, or I'm sorry, to count the pin at some point. It was strange to see, but like none of a lot of shit happened around the ring. But just the look of the match, the environment,
It's
made it
original.
really
It's
cool.
It's a really original and
Well, let's just say we're
unique.
not gonna get a match like that,
Yeah.
boys, again.
I didn't care much for Conan coming out the way he did. I understand he can't beat. I can't take bumps. You know, he's probably, I don't know how old he is now, but I'm sure he's just out of bumping age. You know, especially
he was
in this.
almost out of bumping age at 2005.
But I think what would have been better is if they had it like a regular tag match in this environment, and he's outside, and then somebody else is outside, you know, on his opposite. Maybe that'd been better. So he'd be out there the whole time. When he came out,
So Conan at that time was
Maybe 2 years
he was
ago.
54.
yeah, but he has wear and tear in his body, obviously.
Yeah, no, he definitely does.
But
He's
no,
probably
it's
feeling
weird.
70.
It's weird because I'll say this isn't the first unique concept match that LAX
Is
and
involved with.
In this case, I should say the OGs are involved with. I'm talking about the original LAX. And the last time, and there's a few of them, but the one I'm speaking of is Lockdown.
Oh yeah,
He saw where I was
I know.
going with
I
the
know you're
voice.
talking about the electrified cage.
Yeah, that was a shit show, and that was horrible.
I feel bad for the Dudleys because they had to sell it.
Oh, and then when it
Oh!
no, and when it happened, they went backstage and they almost quit the company for it. Like, that's how bad it was.
So Conan coming out, I mean, like, you knew when he was coming out. As soon as Eddie Kingston had his spot where he was gonna put somebody away,
Well, and
and
they
then
did
you
the
hear the
wor-
gunshots or the gunshots.
They did
come
the
out.
worst thing. They played the music.
They did the one thing I absolutely hate.
Yeah, if you're gonna jump somebody, don't play their music because then you know they're coming.
It's the same reason why I hate when every time they do a spot and Darby Allin comes up to save people in AEW. It's like, oh, hey, it's skateboard guy. They play his song. I'm like, dude. And any run-in where you're trying to save somebody, the last thing I would want to know is let them know 15 seconds before I get to the ring.
I'm coming out, guys. Don't worry.
Yeah, I'll get you.
It's still Conan. Like, these guys went through hell in the mask, but it's still Conan. And in any realistic scenario, you're like 55, almost wheelchair-bound Conan
Yeah.
and Eddie fucking Kingston.
And he didn't sell his getting beat up, by the way, at all. Even though he limped out, I don't know if he limped out or not, but like
He did limp.
he didn't look like he was all the worse for it. He got in there, had the quarters, and he's barking out orders or whatever to Santana and Ortiz.
Let's do the street
And
sweeper.
did the street sweeper, and then the match was good. I gave it a 7.5, just based on the originality of it and how these guys did what they had to do to make it look good. I'm glad nobody got hurt, and that's. I'm sorry, I'm gonna bump it up to an 8 because nobody got hurt. That's how great they work together. They work safe.
I gave it an 8.5.
Yeah,
Unique concept. The match quality was good. The only thing that brought it down was just the fact that they had to go and play Conan's fucking music.
He brought it. Okay, so actually he said almost everything I was saying. I was gonna give it an 8.5, and it's because I like everybody in this match except for Conan for sure. I don't like Conan. I never liked Conan. I don't know why. I just don't like Conan. And
You liked him better as Max Moon, huh?
no, and
Oh God,
no.
95
And
sucked. Oh my God.
all I can think of when I see Santana now, not Santana, is Ortiz
is
is
comedy.
what he does in AEW, and like it sucks because I like Santana so much that
Yeah, because Santana's fucking serious.
if
He's
anything,
boss.
they should be tag team champions, or at least could be any time now. But if he's gonna keep doing the comedy bit, like flopping around the orange juice and shit, I can't take him seriously, which it hurts Santana. I like Santana a lot,
Santana's great.
and I don't hate Ortiz. I just think it doesn't fit when
Be
you got
serious, motherfucker.
you got one guy who's super serious and one guy who's like, I'm gonna flop around.
I'm gonna pretend I'm drowning in orange juice
But no, this is actually
when no one else is selling it like me.
no, but this is really good. It's really good for a unique match that I don't assume anybody else is gonna be like, hey, we're gonna have an entire match where
Concrete
there's no
deathmatch.
there's no turnbuckle pads and we're just gonna have wood on the ground. Like
Is this a creative way to say street fight?
none of that was secured.
It was
in
more
any-
creative than that because the fucking
Creative
ring
way-
setup.
Yeah,
It was
creative
weird
way to
because-
say it, not describe it.
It's weird because I want to know what happened afterwards because they had to reset everything up because they made a point during it that says the canvas holds.
That's what this was for. That's what
Yeah.
the alley match was for.
They said the canvas holds. Yeah, that's probably what it was. They aired like a 15-minute bullshit. I mean, it wasn't.
It wasn't bullshit, but it wasn't great.
It was stupid, but
I'm having fun describing it.
it was stupidly entertaining. I'll say that.
Yeah.
But they took the ring apart and the canvas does do something. There's a few other things they do to make sure that shit doesn't happen, but the canvas does play a big part in it.
Right on.
And you can pay attention to that when you watch Moxley and Omega from Full Gear last year.
Yep.
He has to cut a bunch of ties. Nothing was tied down because that's how they cut all that, pull it. They have a foam mat under the ring above those boards. It's the boards, a foam mat, and then the canvas. At least anytime I've ever seen the ring get cut apart, there's at least some form of a mat.
Yeah, which there would have been foam too, but we did kind of see it barely though, right at the opening, but
Reminds me of Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano too.
Basically, the point here, that's what I'm saying. The point here is you're landing on fucking 2x4s.
yeah, you're landing on straight wood.
They're-
That fucking hurt.
Like the
Yeah.
sweet sweeper and a few other things they did there. It's like that's some legit bumps, and you
Yeah.
can't take it away from it.
I'm just glad they got out and nobody got hurt, other than normal bumps and bruises.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. It's really
So
good.
then Allie goes into the undead realm, and what happens in the undead realm,
All right,
Albert?
so Allie has made a deal with James
Murder?
Mitchell.
Murder happens in the.
Yeah, yeah. This is good stuff on that. Okay,
That's good
stuff.
shit.
Okay, so James Mitchell tells Allie that I will free Rosemary's soul or whatever it was if you come to the land of the undead. And so Allie goes to.
He
this-
also warned her he also told her that they had Kira Hogan down there before she went.
Oh, okay, I didn't hear that.
That's
Okay,
why
so-
she found her.
Okay, so that plays in later. Okay, so Allie has an axe in her hand and she goes into this coffin and lays down and it closes and she wakes up in this undead area and she's doing this, like I said, to save Rosemary's soul. So she's walking around a little bit and she sees Sue Young and who attacks Allie with they're fighting in an office in some kind of office and Allie hits Young with this axe twice. And
First time,
both times were in the neck, not in the head. But
actually,
both times
the
were in the neck.
first time, Su Young's on top of her and she hits her with the handle.
Double axe
Oh,
handle.
okay.
And then the second time was off camera. She smacks her in the head and
Yeah.
kills her. The blood splatters
And
on the
it's
screen.
great because the blood goes into the camera. It gives realism.
I have another comment to why I have a problem with that, but we'll get there when you're done telling about all the death spots.
Okay, so Ali fends off
All the murder.
So she quote unquote kills Su Young, and it's gonna be a pattern of
She
this.
goes up to another
She
body.
walks up into a church, and she sees a casket with Kira, and she discovers.
Oh, you missed the part that she found Su Young like twice before she even ended up there.
Yeah, because then she looks up and Su Young's there again.
Yeah, no,
okay. Well,
okay. I better describe because you didn't write it all down. You got the first death, and then right after that happens, she walks up to like another body covered in a sheet, pulls the sheet off, it's Su Young again, and then they go through another brawl, and she killed her.
And then she goes to another sheet and
Yeah.
pulls it up, and it's her.
Like and then she sees herself, and then she puts the sheet back on, and then she finds Kira.
Yep.
yeah. So she walks into a church. Ali walks into a church, and she walks with this casket with Kira Hogan is sitting in an open casket with Kira Hogan in it. And
She's not moving
And,
at this
Kira
point.
Hogan is comatose at this point. And then Su Young emerges. She's sitting in a pew with a sheet over her.
Yep, this is the third time.
And so Su Young stands up, and she's basically looking like an undead bride. Was it something
Yep.
like that?
Oh, yeah.
And she looks evil as shit. I mean, for how silly this is, it looks really good. Her mouth has blood coming out of it, and I don't know if she had the particular wound from her neck wound or not, but
The neck wound thing happens after this. You're jumping ahead again.
no, I'm talking about from her previous axe handle
No,
in
no,
the
no,
office.
not yet.
But the part.
Okay,
So
thank you.
The part you're coming to comes after the third time she gets murdered,
Gotcha.
which is coming up.
Oh,
We're talking about right now.
It was just a random question. I wasn't asking what happened. So they fight right there in front of the casket, and with a baseball bat comes out. I don't. Nobody got hit with the baseball bat, but they end up in this little
kitchen?
some
It
utility
looks
closet.
like a fucking pantry.
I
It was
said,
like
kitchen, pantry.
So Young hits the mandible claw on Ali, and then Young
With her blood-soaked glove.
and then Young has some hubris, and she steps back and pulls out this ceremonial-looking knife, and she's like, yeah. But Ali beats her to it and hits her in the neck with an axe, and more blood just pours out.
And then she sits there for her neck.
And then Ali just sits there, or I'm sorry, Ali stands up, and Young falls on the on where Ali was, appearing to be dead again. So Ali revives Hogan, and they try to escape, and they go back to the original coffin that they came in in, where James Mitchell is, and says, "Ali, you are never getting out," because that's something along the lines of like,
That's
I
the
never
deal that they
said,
made.
Yeah,
I
you
never
know-
said
yeah.
you're getting out. You're just gonna say Rosemary's
He
Soul.
said, I said I'd let you in. I never said I'd let you leave.
Yeah. So at this point, multiple Su Young show up that aren't dead already. They just kind of just rise out of nowhere.
I forgot what you called them. I forgot what they
The undead bridesmaids.
Yeah.
Okay, but they all look like Su Young. Then Rosemary shows up out of nowhere and beats all those Youngs back, and then tells Ali, "You got to get out of here. Kira, you got to get out of here." And then the original Young, with the axe still in her neck, by the way,
This is where your blood spot comes.
is alive again, and Rosemary fight, and they have these weird little symbolisms and lights out of their hands. And
That's where I was like, out of all of that, I was
Magic.
like, what the fuck
magic.
is this?
Yeah, I was like,
The Force.
See, when she pulls the axe out of her neck, that's when she does the little smile and blood pops out of her mouth.
yeah, I was like, at least that stuff looks scary, but like it's at this point, it's like,
They're using the Force lightning.
Yeah. And one of them is, and one of them is using Doctor Strange's weird circle power.
yeah, it was weird.
Like, out of all of that, that was like okay, now you lost me. What
Where's
do
the
you-
lightsaber battle?
Okay, so Ali and Kira are getting in the coffin because Rosemary starts to get dragged down by the Youngs who have overtaken her, and of course the original Su Young. And then Ali and Hogan get in the coffin, and they go back to the real world, where it turns out, I'm sorry, where Ali says, "We have to go back, and then Kira's looking at her, and Ali's voice becomes demonic, saying, "We have to go back," and then it ends.
So, I think the only thing I really said about this of any worth was Allie always has to have a black friend.
Token black friend.
Because she went to AEW and he tried to be friends with Brandy for a while. Now that's over for some reason. They didn't explain that either.
Do we have to rate this?
No.
No.
Okay, it's like a not applicable.
Chris
applicable.
didn't write down notes, so we're not gonna rate this.
Fair enough.
This
No
is
rating. This
I
isn't a
give my
match.
I give my note taking a 2.5.
I'm still gonna say that I enjoyed this more for the entertainment value than most horror related things because I do not like horror at all. So
Yeah.
I thought this was
Yeah.
funny and entertaining.
Yeah, I don't mind horror for the sake of horror, and this was not that.
This was B-movie
This
comedy.
is B-movie
horror.
comedy horror,
Yeah.
so it wasn't meant to be taken seriously. But I will say this though: the effect, the aside from the stupid hand things they were doing, all of the visuals, it could be scary if you bought into it.
It's weird.
But we know nobody's gonna die, so I didn't give a shit.
It's weird because I've actually seen how this ends, and I've seen that cinematic, and that's really good too.
I tell you what though, Sue Young is a great teammate or a great team player for having all the face paint, all the blood, taking the axe shots, and but at
Taking
least-
some bumps.
New
Taking some
Impact,
bumps.
new Impact Women's World Champion.
who?
I think so.
She just won the Women's World title 2 days ago.
Sue
Well-
Young.
Or
Yeah,
at
hey.
time of recording,
Hey, what were we saying earlier about starting at the bottom? There you go.
starting at the bottom. Now we're here.
Would you consider being in a cinematic thing at the bottom though?
Yeah. This, yeah. I would say this is this. Oh, it's weird because there was literally the running joke that, well, what's Impact doing? Well, they have literal murder now. That became the joke because of how this storyline played out. There's literal murder.
Ooh.
And my last observation was that Allie is hot.
Oh yes, in every way,
Very.
shape, or possible. Yes.
Now, one of your critiques is the fact that Allie is wearing a white T-shirt and there is no blood on this
that's what I'm
T-shirt.
saying. No, there was not the first time. Towards the end there was, but she kills her the first time. The blood splatters on the screen and her face.
She should be. covered,
How
yeah,
in the
for sure.
hell?
You're right. You're right.
The first time they fixed it later, but that particular first time, how do you? There's no way the blood splatters
It
would
was
be that precise.
It was shot the day before the next scene.
Hey, we gotta put this up.
Hurry up,
fuck
come
it,
on.
whatever. It's a white shirt.
Yeah.
Throw a beer glass of pitcher of water on there. Maybe get some nipping action. I don't know.
Oh
Fix
my
it.
god.
But
They couldn't fix it.
Wow.
Wow. I'm saying.
it's a so I have to ask this question too. And I know we're running long here, but
I don't care.
so
I don't care
okay.
about length.
So rating this with other cinematic matches like the Matt Hardy stuff or the Bray Wyatt stuff or even the Taker and Joey Styles or I'm sorry AJ
Joey
Styles stuff.
Styles? Oh, wait, Taker and Joey Styles.
Oh god.
You know I misspoke. So I will call him from now on Alan Jones Styles if you just want just to make sure I don't
the
fuck up
Alan
his name
Jones
again.
Styles special.
Just so I don't fuck up his name again. Anyway, so does this rank higher or low on that list of cinematic
No,
matches?
this is pretty low.
It's pretty low.
So
I put
if-
it above most of Bray Wyatt's.
It wasn't a
shit.
match per se. It was just it looked like
It's better than the House of Horrors against Randy Orton. I'll say that much.
it looked like a first person shooter to be honest with you.
Well, I'll tell you this.
Without it being first person.
If
sorry.
you ranked them by if you put them all together, like all of the cinematics with the Undead Realm and all that, then it would probably rank
It's
not as high as the Hardys, but it'd be right under the
It's actually
Hardys.
not wrong. It's not a bad story. It's just weird to see.
You'd
it in
have
wrestling.
you'd have to put them all together to make it rate higher.
Like,
Like
if you're
right
going-
now, as an individual,
Is
I
this-
would say it ranks above Bray Wyatt's shit, but it ranks below Undertaker and Styles.
Well,
Okay,
Undertaker
I feel you.
Styles-
Yeah, I agree with you. on
Undertaker
that.
Styles is good. It's the only part I didn't like about this Taker Styles thing was and now the Druins are here, and now the Druins are gone. Where'd the Druins go? Where did they come from? Why did
Taker
they
may
leave?
disappear.
there was that part, but no, this is towards the beginning of this.
Yeah, like I said, if you put all the cinematics together, it won't beat the Hardys just because that was so unique for its
Because
time.
okay, so this is
But you put them all together, they rank higher than anything else.
I'd say beginning of this, but technically this ends in 3 months. At least the alley part does.
But they do so many more cinematics in between,
Yeah.
where this is and where it ends.
Because
I got one more comparison. So but after your thought,
I was gonna, I wasn't thought I was gonna
and you're
explain
gonna
it.
and you're gonna love this.
I was
one,
gonna
so.
explain what happened. So they did this, and then so the whole AEW thing happened. Allie was one of the first women to sign to AEW in the early 2019. So they did another one of these.
Where they literally killed
Yeah,
Allie.
as far as Impact is concerned, Allie is dead. She literally
Like, murder, death,
sacrificed.
kill.
Yeah, she literally gets
She
killed.
sacrificed herself
Yeah, she literally
To do what?
She sacrificed herself
to
to
let her friends live.
Yeah, she saves her friends, but she dies in the Undead Realm, and then she shows up in Impact or in AEW because Impact. Her last time on Impact is her
She
dying.
should get written off by dying.
That's
Like a
why-
bad
that's-
soap
that's
opera.
why I
And that's the best way to write someone off.
No, but that's why I kept saying literal murder happens in these things because that's as far as they're concerned, Allie got murdered. It's done. She's not there
Okay.
anymore.
Okay, so one more comparison, and okay, so how do you compare this to the Hogan versus the Dungeon of Doom?
Way better. Fuck Dungeon of Doom.
So you don't mind the Taskmaster or the Zodiac and the.
I would
the,
rather watch
you don't
this.
lo-
I would rather watch this particular cinematic 100 times over than the Dungeon of Doom once.
What about the part when the giant came in through the stone wall to beat down Hogan? You didn't like that either? Oh, come on.
Fuck that.
The
I'd
greatest
rather
Big
watch.
Show
You didn't
moment
like
of all
Hogan
time.
walking through the forest like, where are you? Where are you, Taskmaster? Where are you, brother? You didn't like that at all?
Screw
and then
Shark.
falls down into a cave? You didn't like that at all either?
Screw the Taskmaster.
I'm actually really upset by how knowledgeable he is about exact moments in that moment.
I've watched Wrestling Bios a lot.
Screw Loch Ness.
Oh, and, and OSW.
I know about
Screw
Loch
Loch Ness.
Yep.
Screw fucking Giant. Screw the Shark. Screw the Booty Man.
Hey man, remember,
Zodiac. Screw all of them.
I'm gonna throw this out there now that it is 2020 because we're literally talking about them doing actual murder. Remember, rest in peace, Akira Tozawa getting eaten by a shark.
He did.
Rey Mysterio and Aleister Black being thrown off the WWE headquarters.
They were on TV the next week, so
They literally were, but they were literally
Was that
murdered.
during Money in the Bank?
Yeah.
they came
Baron
back
Corbin
next week.
threw Rey Mysterio off the fucking building.
Oh, speaking of murder, Hogan, Giant, and a friggin' monster truck tug of war.
Screw that too.
Oh,
Giant
dude.
was great. It was late, about an hour later. He's walking down the ramp, no injuries.
I know
nothing.
that story. The
It's
story
so
about that.
funny.
It was like that was one of the worst thought of ideas, the collaboration ideas they ever had.
So then, in one of the next cinematic matches that happen,
Oh,
or
boy.
cinematics that happens, Su Young and Allie become partners.
Well, if you can't beat him, join him, right?
Because it's because of Mitchell. Mitchell says you must team up with my monster to save your friends. So
Oh,
she
boy.
becomes the Dark Bunny.
No.
The evil bunny.
On the next show, Jordan Grace and Kira Hogan team up against Su Young and Allie.
So you made a reference. I'm just gonna jump in and just ignore what you just said. You made a reference during this, and I want you to talk about it.
Okay, which one?
Who should be here? They weren't wrestling at this time, but they fit perfectly for this scenario.
Abaddon.
Abaddon would be perfect for this.
Was Abaddon?
She's AEW's Living Dead girl,
Yeah, she's
Oh,
got
yeah, I know who you're talking
awesome
about.
face paint and everything.
but
Gotcha.
she may or may not have been completely seriously injured and might be out for a while.
Jake the Snake Roberts would have been cool to make a cameo in here too.
Yeah.
But you're not wrong though. Abaddon would be perfect for this.
Okay.
Now we can move on to
I've got it out of my system now.
now that we talked a lot longer than I thought we were going to
All
talk
right,
about that.
did we have a promo after that?
Yeah, Johnny Impact says more or less. I don't know specifically what he said, but it's the same idea as what Austin Aries did. Things are personal. I'm going to beat you. Win the title.
All right, so we had the Impact World Title match. Austin Aries versus Johnny Impact. First things first, as Aries does a guillotine choke to Johnny Impact. I wrote that these two look legitimately angry at each other. Aries does a headbutt to Impact. Lots of stiff shots by both. Impact dove off of the apron to Aries. Impact did a moonsault off the guardrail to Aries, which looked amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Aries hit Impact in the air as he was trying to do a tope. Aries did a double sledge to Impact's back. There was knees from Aries to Impact. Impact reversed a tope by Aries. Impact did a springboard corkscrew to Aries. Aries did a last chance read to Impact. Impact did a springboard kick to Aries. Aries did a top rope Hurricane Rana to Impact. Aries did a neckbreaker in the ropes to Impact. Impact then did a top rope Spanish fly to Aries, which looked amazing.
It always does. Everybody who's done that spot.
Aries did a Death Valley driver on the apron and a 450 splash to Impact.
That Death Valley driver looked
Brutal.
really bad because he hit everything off of the rope, so his head landed straight on the ring.
True. Impact then did a super kick and Starship Pain to Aries. Aries did a discus elbow and a brain buster to Impact. Aries did the last chance for Impact. There was a slap battle. Aries did a tope, which ended up hitting Taya Valkyrie outside the ring.
Oh man,
He sold that really good.
she did.
We're gonna get to this.
Impact then did a brain buster to Aries and a Starship Pain to Aries. Pinned Aries 1, 2, 3,
And then Aries-
immediately got up.
And then Aries said, "Fuck all,"
He immediately stood up,
Aries gets up. Yeah.
flicked off the crowd.
He was yelling, fuck you, because fans, when he got up and he got out of the ring on that side, fans were booing him, so he was just telling people to fuck off individually. And then he got up on the stage, as you can see it behind
Double fuck yous at that point.
You can see him behind Impact, because they don't cut to him. But you can see him behind Impact celebrating. He just got him with the double fingers walking out the door.
And Impact is like, what is he doing?
And then even carrying, like, he almost went after him.
Impact is looking like, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah.
And then even carrying Cross and Moose's Impact is celebrating like a minute later, like, I guess we're going to leave.
Yeah. Bye.
Yeah, it was awkward.
Like, that ending gave me, like, knowing that ending going in gave me a whole different, because you talk about how stiff everything was. Like, I'm on your side that I don't think it was a work, like
a shoot.
A shoot, because it seems like a work, because the way they built the story was going to be that way. The shoot comes after the match is over.
Right.
More so, Aries said, I'm going to do something and see what happens.
Yeah.
But they definitely, they acted out the story so well. This is a fantastic match.
Yeah, it's a fantastic match. I don't even care about the ending. From
bell to bell, this is a great match.
Yeah, I stopped taking notes after Impact did that hurdle when he hurdled the apron in the barricade.
The move in the match.
That was so sweet.
I stopped taking notes. I was like, this is over. This match can't get any better, to be honest with you.
He jumps up out of the way of Aries, lands 1 foot on the barricade, 1 foot on the ring, and then moonsaults off onto it.
And doesn't fuck it up.
Yeah.
There were no fuck ups in this match, as far as I know.
No.
I'm sorry. There was one. I'm sorry. The announcer botched Johnny Impact's Slam Town USA by saying Slam City USA.
Yeah, right,
That's
I
not
said
a
bell
botch
to
on
bell.
the match.
Yeah,
I said
I'm
bell to
just saying.
bell, the match
So
is
that's my point.
It's funny because if like going back and looking at it, it's like Slam City, like, Slam Town.
Yeah.
Which is really funny because Slam City was the WWE show on the network that they made about the superstars working average jobs.
Average jobs, like
John Cena's a mechanic.
Right.
I gotta say, have you ever actually thought about like where some famous people would be if they weren't what they were doing?
No.
Like if they were normal fucking people.
It's hard to tell, isn't it? like
what if football didn't work out? What would Tom Brady be doing? Like shit like that. Right?
I bet he could be he could probably be in sales somewhere. He has that look like The Rock, for instance. He'd be owning a gym. He'd be a personal trainer.
I wonder if The Rock would have made it as an actor without the WWE.
But yeah, so
He had to get in somehow. I don't know. Might be tough.
all right, so
This match to me was a 9. I
okay.
dug the story. Everything they did was freaking awesome. Aries,
I actually agree.
they were all stiff. They gave no fucks. I mean, like if indeed it wasn't a shoot and they acted like it was real, they convinced me wholeheartedly. This match, the only reason it wasn't a 10 is because I don't think I don't know. Maybe
You also got to look at what we're giving 10s to.
yeah. Maybe it's just tough to give it. I don't know if it's just tough to give it 10. 9 is the first thing that popped in my head. So. Maybe the ending did sway me a little bit because Aries didn't sell the finish. I don't know, but
And I'm going 9 as well, like you guys.
I'm giving it a 9 from bell to bell because as far as the story of the match goes, this was fantastic. They did everything they're supposed to do.
and it was hyped up throughout the show.
I will
They
say
couldn't have done
this.
it better.
I will say this. I lost a shitload of respect for Austin Aries for after.
Yeah, I could see that.
Because I loved Austin Aries.
And you said he hasn't been in wrestling since.
Really, televised pay-per-view matches now.
He might have been in MLW. I can't 100% confirm that, but since what I've personally known, he has not done anything since.
In any major capacity, he hasn't.
Maybe he's like
He was backstage at Dynamite a couple times, I think.
so.
Yeah, but it didn't do anything.
So it kind of reminds me of like when CM Punk took his ball and went home. I'm not relating it at all because it's two different
I think
circumstances.
CM Punk actually had a legit gripe.
Yeah. So what was Austin Aries' gripe?
He didn't have one. He was the world champion. You can't be any higher
weird
on the
'cause-
fucking
Oh
card.
wait! I'm sorry. It wasn't a gripe. I'm sorry. He just tried something. Now, did he go into business on his own, or did he tell somebody? Because like
Well,
obviously,
he obviously went business on his own because look at the way that Johnny
Everybody in the
reacts
match
to it.
right?
Johnny reacts to it like, what the fuck? Killer Cross and Moose are like, what do we
It's
do?
interesting because you're saying that, but like for the first moments when Aries first gets up and walks out, the camera's on him. And then he starts fucking yelling at the fans, and the camera's like, fuck that. And they jump back to Johnny.
Okay, so yeah, so,
It'd be a different story if, let's say, Cross and Moose walked out with him at the exact same time.
yeah.
Man,
so-
everybody looks so confused. is
On
all
the
I'm getting at.
in the article I read earlier about the situation, it turns out that he got released, I think, on the next Impact show.
Yeah, he didn't. He wasn't even on. He was scheduled to be on the card.
But he didn't.
They said bye.
Yeah, yeah,
You're
and
out.
he didn't anticipate any problems with what he did. Which
No.
is so. It's like again, like what's going through his head? It's so weird.
He's got an ego complex.
It's not even that long after he got because he was like, when was his WrestleMania match with Pac?
like
Which
the
is
year,
great.
like literally the year before, and he got
Which was
pissed
the
off.
pre-show, and he was gone shortly after that too.
He had legitimate reasons to be mad about that one though. He was mad about WrestleMania DVD payouts
They're also
because
both
his-
mad.
Yeah.
because his pre-show match with Neville was not on the pre-show because the pre-show never made it on the DVD, which in my head it should because it's technically on
They
archive
put it
footage.
on all the other fucking DVDs.
Plus, on top of that, that match was one of the better matches of that night,
Well, like it's funny because both of them had gripes about
which makes
that,
total
'cause
sense.
Both of them were out of the company very shortly after that.
My
Neville
question-
Pac was pissed that he was relegated to this cruiserweight division.
My question
Same as
is my question is who? So the other match that I know for sure was on there was the Battle Royal. Who cares? And then there was Ambrose and Corbin. Were they all also pissed off about DVD payouts that year?
Ambrose and Corbin was on the
If-
pre-show.
Yeah, because it was for the Intercontinental title.
Ambrose made the pre-show on Mania. I did not know. I
It was
forgot
not,
that.
it was for the Intercontinental title.
If they were complaining about it, I didn't hear anything.
No, we haven't heard anything personally, but were they pissed off too? Because
I
they have
feel-
every right to be too.
I feel like when Ambrose left the company, he would have said something about something like that.
Yeah,
if he
on
was-
on
if-
Jericho's
on
show for
all
sure.
those podcasts that he did.
I don't know though. Because he doesn't.
Because he said
direct-
enough. He said enough that was far more damning than that.
The DVD, yeah.
The thing
Yeah.
is, though, is that might be something that's small on his radar because the fact that they made him
He made-
turn heel
they
on
made-
the Roman
well-
Reigns cancer show
well, one, he was
pissed
also
him off the most.
He was also making a hell of a lot more money than both of these guys were.
True, but like, like shit like that, it's like Aries. I get that you're one of the best wrestlers in the world, but you gotta think a little bit first.
I would actually almost put over that Moxley or Ambrose making at least twice as much, at least as much as both Pac and Aries at the time put together.
Oh
'Cause
yeah,
he made
because
a
look at his
shitload of
spot.
money.
Look at his spot on the card. Like
I
Aries
wouldn't
renegade
care
of the
nearly
cruiserweight
as much
division.
if I had that much of my contract money coming in, that much of my merchandise money coming in. I wouldn't care about DVDs.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it depends because I don't know what the percentage is of a DVD sale you would get.
Yeah, but if you're a low, like, and that's, again, this comes back to being relegated to the cruiserweight division. That's lower tier. Like,
Definitely.
People don't care. Merchandise doesn't sell for the lower tier players. Like, shit doesn't happen.
I mean, shit, because you don't get merchandise. That's the reason why I don't sell.
Yeah.
Well,
Like,
look,
how many Akira Tozawa shirts can you find?
I mean, all I'm waiting for right now is Pat to finally be allowed to travel.
Get him back over here.
He comes back over here. He's going to be a player. And I think that's what they're going to do with the Kingston and Lucha Brothers and all that. The running idea I have is that it's going to be Pac's going to come back. He's going to steal the Lucha Brothers because they have the Death Triangle. And they're going to do a feud between Pac, the Lucha Brothers, and the Butcher Blade and Kingston.
Which, that'd be fine.
It'd be great, but you can't push it too long.
Hey, AEW, find out a way to get Kingston with Santana and Ortiz.
That would
Do
also be
it.
good. Either way, back to our main event. Any final thoughts?
Yeah, I mean,
We didn't talk too much about it, so we should really talk.
What are your final thoughts on the show overall? Because we've already said
Oh.
our main event thoughts.
go watch it. There's a lot of unique things to watch and to take away from it. We know with the Aries thing. If you never saw it in person and watched the match going to it, that's
It's weird because
wait a minute. So
Yeah.
so that right there is a not monumental. That's a historic thing to see. Is like some guy basically breaking kayfabe in the match, or I'm sorry, in the event, because it wasn't planned this way. I'm sure of it. And then obviously the concrete match was fun. Even the alley stuff was fun, and watching both of those and watching the 6-man tag. was
Honestly,
great.
just
And then
honestly, just skip the Eddie Edwards part.
yeah, you'd probably be great.
True.
It's probably a great show if you cut that out there.
Yeah, and, watch Eli Drake for the sake of Eli Drake. The first match, it opened up great. So, I mean, this show is... I say watch the whole thing so you can see like what a good show is and what the bad parts could be. But for the sake of it, just watch the whole thing.
It's not a lot of great shows from start to finish.
Yeah. So, I mean,
and honestly, like,
watch the whole thing.
if I had to say, like, out of all of our reviews, this one I'd put in the top 5.
Yeah, we're-
WrestleMania 17 being Pinnacle.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that's
It's gonna be hard
that's
to
gonna be
top.
really hard to beat.
yeah. There's.
I'd have to ask, I can't even name one off the top of my head, and we'll get there. We got one coming up in a month that might have a chance.
Well, see, the thing is we got to do this when we do reviews for like full shows. We got to kind of dumb down our WrestleMania total for a little bit because it's like let's say like a regular Ring of Honor show or a regular Full Gear from AEW or whatever.
Hey, Full Gear has a chance to be.
They're
interesting.
not going to be able to compete with Mania just with the pure size of the cards.
Right now, it's not even that. Like right now, it doesn't matter how good the show is. Even with AEW, they're gonna have some fans. Until there's a full crowd, nothing that comes out in the last year or the next year is gonna compete because you need a crowd.
You definitely do. That's why
And the
for
one thing,
WWE we are not watching current events.
we will be watching Full Gear because there is a crowd of about 1,000 people or so.
Full Gear we will watch it.
Cool.
We've been looking forward to Full Gear.
I was looking forward to All Out too, and that disappointed me. But the Matt Hardy Sammy Guevara thing was the biggest reason for it.
The next WWE show that we might watch that's current, maybe the Rumble if there are fans.
But to your point, Survivor Series 02, that's where I was looking at when I said in about a month or so. That might have a chance to have a shot at WrestleMania 17.
But we gotta also kind of dumb down the WrestleMania rating a little bit, just because the Survivor Series is normally not gonna be on WrestleMania caliber.
02 will be. I know that card. I know what I'm gonna rate it.
We know
So
the
it's
card.
gonna be close.
It's just you gotta rewatch them again just
That's what I'm
to
saying.
figure it out.
Just off the top of my head, I think it's gonna be close. But I had something to say to him before you jump to the end.
All right.
You were talking about Aries' moment at the end of the match.
Mhm.
Any different than I'm not gonna do this with Hogan and when Russo
Oh.
had to come down to the ring and he says like fuck you, I'm not doing this.
That was planned until Russo came back out
That's
and
what I'm
buried
getting-
Hogan.
That's what I'm getting at.
So that's the stupidity on Russo's part.
like you say, I'm not, oh, nope, I'm out.
Yeah.
Like,
Fuck Russo.
Yeah, my favorite kind of like breaking the script match, even though it wasn't, but it was so unique. No one was ever doing this. Was Brian Pillman and Kevin Sullivan? Do you guys remember that? It was
I personally do not.
it was an I Respect You match. This is when Brian Pillman was doing his loose cannon gimmick. He was trying to
the
get out
best
of his,
version of Brian Pillman.
he was trying to get out of his WCW contract, and so he convinced Eric Bischoff to fire him. So he goes somewhere else, raise his star back up, and he'll come.
ECW or WWF at the time.
And then he'll come back WCW and he can make money. So
He did.
and he never did because
But he
I
never
think
came back.
I think he did it to get out of WCW. Period.
Well, yeah, definitely.
So he had a match with Kevin Sullivan. It was like a Four Horsemen versus I don't know if it was Dungeon of Doom, but no, yeah, it was Dungeon of Doom. And Brian Pillman and Kevin Sullivan were always kind of like button heads. So they had an I Respect You match, where the winner has to shake the hand of the other guy of the guy beat, and the guy who lost had to say I respect you. They wrestled for like 3 minutes, and then Brian Pillman, remember he's a loose cannon now. He's already done a few things to represent that. He goes out of the ring, grabs the mic, and says I respect you, and just walks off.
I mean,
Sweet.
However, Kevin Sullivan was in on it, and so was Eric Bischoff. So it was all planned. But however, no one knew that at the time, which is of course it's easy to get away with that in 95, 96. Excuse
See,
me.
I would,
can't get
I
away
would
with
love
anything
to,
now.
I would love to
hard.
hear Morrison's thoughts about this.
that's why
I
the
know.
Aries thing so is because it's only 2 years ago in the age of fucking internet. You know everything before it happens, basically.
I'd also
and
like
this
to-
happens. Everyone's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I'd also like to hear Tayo, what she would think about this.
But
I mean, all sides is interesting. Even like Moose and Cross.
Moose and Cross, I feel like they were totally left out of the dark just because
I'm
the
pretty sure
fact
everybody
that they
was.
fucking left
it didn't
after
look.
going, we should probably leave.
I'm rather sure like everything about this it screamed Aries and nobody else.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, definitely.
But with that said, now that we're back on the topic of the show we just watched, because we went on a tangent for a second, I said I wanted to end this with our last review and this review. 13 years difference from the first Bound for Glory,
Correct.
15 years later.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
Well, we watched Bound for Glory in 2005, right? And
was the first one they had.
And I thought that was a great show. And I've watched very little TNA now Impact. So I'm gonna go. It's a profound difference because of the talent level, but at the same time, the card, this card, even though it had a little clunkers here and there, it was well developed because at least they like everything was tied up in a bow at the end, aside from the Aries bullshit.
Well, and you gotta think. You can even compare this to the one that we're not gonna release for a while, but 2010.
The one I'm not married to.
So actually, the question more is pertaining to you guys. You guys have watched way more TNA than I have.
My biggest thing
They've
is
grown a
it's
lot
weird.
as a company.
I do enjoy this show more. More so because there's a lot of people that 05 show. It's a really good show. A lot of people on that show centers around a lot of the old guard.
Yep. Rhino,
Jeff Jarrett. Fucking R-Truth now is just a comedy gimmick anyways, but he's out there.
Jeff Hardy,
Abyss.
New Age Outlaws.
Angle. Oh, I'm sorry, AJ
Angle's
Styles.
not there.
Sorry,
No,
Styles.
AJ Styles is not part of the old guard because I was gonna
Yeah,
make a
because he
point.
was the new guard at that time.
I was gonna make.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
I was gonna make a point to that show. I think we talked about it because we rated the triple threat from WrestleMania 17 TLC. That was a 10. We did not rate Austin and Rock collectively a 10. I can't remember if one of us did, but I know collectively we did not
What, Rock and Austin?
from WrestleMania 17.
I think I did.
That's what I'm saying. Collectively, we've given 2 matches a 10. And it was that ladder match, or the TLC match from WrestleMania 17,
And
that,
AJ and
that
Daniels.
Iron Man match from
Yeah,
Tom
that was
Roy.
fucking
Like,
outstanding.
The best match was there. I think the best put together thing, and it was all new. Like everybody there. It's not like Ken Shamrock shows up, like they did a couple days ago.
True.
It's not like Abyss being probably the most old guard person in this show.
And he didn't even have an official match.
Yeah, we had a run
He
in.
just beat up Eli Drake afterwards.
They
for
were
talking
pushing
shit.
they pushed their stars and they did everything.
Do that
05
again.
05 is a great show. And it's a great show, but it doesn't showcase the future outside of AJ and Daniels at the time.
You're talking about 05. Yeah,
I'm just trying to say, 05 had a few people here and there, like Petey Williams and all that.
The
like-
Fatal 4-Way Cruiser
Yeah, and the pre-show match with Aries and
Aries can't catch a break.
Aries, Strong, Dutt, and Shelley.
And Shelley. Like,
Yeah.
There's a lot of like young guys who went on to prove themselves on that show.
Mhm.
In like the beginning of the show. and
Minus
then-
Matt Bentley.
Yeah, and that 30, like, there's people that went on to do stuff, but, like, there's a lot of focus, a whole lot of focus on, like, Jeff Jarrett, Rhino.
Conan.
Conan even was a focus on that show. Like,
Jesus.
they weren't old, but they weren't young then.
They weren't Eric Young.
And some of those people are still fucking doing shit today. Eric Young was there. And just the way that show ended and this show is probably the better,
Collective.
collectively put together show. Which is weird for me to say for a newer age TNA show or Impact show, because I've not been the biggest fan of Impact for a while.
But hey, they can still put on a banger of a pay-per-view.
But
Yeah.
overall, this is a good show.
I say, yeah, go watch it. It's worth it.
You can skip Eddie Edwards though.
I still don't. Yeah. Well, we're out.
See ya.
Bye.